If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description.
One crossing over. It could have been an instant, or it could have been an eternity. In a state between sleep and wakefulness, Adam found himself in a spacious room. It was pitch black, deep, and a bit chilly. Where is this? Mr. Sujiro Kifuja, welcome to the afterlife. A voice came from behind. Although he was still nervous about the sudden change, under that gentle and accommodating voice, his tense feelings gradually eased. Adam turned around to look. She had water blue long hair, water blue eyes, a water blue long dress, and a light purple feathered robe enveloping her body. Are you, the goddess of water, Aqua? This appearance was identical to that of Aqua, the goddess of water from the anime KonoSuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. Commonly known as KonoSuba. Cosplay? No, it wasn't, it was the real goddess of water. Adam suspected she might be some otaku friend who came to play a prank on him. But he immediately dismissed that idea. This girl was the real deal, the true goddess of water, Aqua. She was ethereal and unpredictable, with perfect bare skin without a single flaw, and surrounded by the radiance of divinity. If she wasn't the goddess of water, then who could be? At least, Adam, who considered himself a seasoned anime enthusiast, wouldn't mistake her identity. Hey? Has my reputation spread even to your world? Aqua's perfect goddess image instantly crumbled as she proudly lifted her delicate nose, as if she were something great. Ah, sorry. In the next moment, realizing her lapse in composure, Aqua immediately returned to her goddess demeanor. She lightly coughed. Ahem, let me explain again, Mr. Sujiro Kifuja, welcome to the afterlife. I regret to inform you that you have died. Adam let out a light sigh, unsure whether to be happy or disappointed. He had crossed over, but he had also died. Excuse me, may I ask a question? He raised his right hand to question Aqua. Please, go ahead. How did I die? It was sudden death. Aqua said to him seriously, years of accumulated late nights weakened your body severely, and you finally succumbed to sudden death at 3 AM yesterday. That's impossible. I said, that's impossible. Adam flatly denied Aqua's statement. I absolutely could not have died from overwork. But Aqua wanted to say something more, but Zhou Fangwu interrupted her. Impossible means impossible. My name is Adam Carter, I'm 19 years old. I live in a small courtyard house on a south town in Brazil, I'm single, and I work at my photo studio 1 kilometer from my home. I never work overtime, and after getting off work at 5 PM every day, I only stay at home watching anime. I don't smoke, and I only drink in moderation. I go to bed at 11 PM sharp and make sure to get 8 hours of sleep, no matter what. Of course, I also exercise a lot, often going to the gym during holidays to work out, and my physical fitness far exceeds that of the average person. Doctors say I'm perfectly healthy. After this recitation, the huge impact left Aqua in a daze, unable to speak for a moment. You're not Japanese. No, I'm not. You're lying. I'm not lying. You are. I'm not. She started to throw a tantrum. If you're not Japanese, why do you speak the language so well? As an anime-loving otaku, it's not too much to be fluent in Japanese, is it? I know English, Portuguese and French as well. But your surname is Sujiro. My surname is Carter, not this one. I'm a genuine American person, from the US. I just came to Brazil because of the good climate and my parents' job. And why the hell is Sujiro Kifuja written here? Aqua angrily pointed at the clipboard she was holding. Sujiro Kifuja equals Sujiro Kifuja equals I suggest you run away. Well, now that you mention it. My gamer name when I came to Brazil with my parents was Sujiro Kifuja, a joke on the Japanese name style. I won a world championship once and became known by that name. Adam gave a little smile, then added, I also had another name, Sugma. Sugma what? Aqua asked, wanting to know the rest of it, since it wasn't possible for a person to have just one name. Never mind. Forget about that. As she was already too nervous, Aqua simply ignored this human. But she suddenly realized. She messed up. She, the goddess of water Aqua, had brought over the wrong person. Why would a non-Japanese person be guided by me, a Japanese goddess? Aqua shouted loudly, by the way, where on earth did the original Sujiro Kifuja go? After a while, she finally accepted the fact that she had brought over the wrong person. Goddess Aqua, is it possible to send me back? Adam sought a way to return. Honestly, compared to crossing over to another world, he would rather go back. He still had parents waiting for him to take care of them, and he hadn't even seen his sister wear a white wedding dress yet. It's not possible. What? I said, it's not possible. Aqua slumped dejectedly in her chair, staring blankly at the ceiling. People who come here can't return to their original world. It's a rule of the heavenly realm, and I can't change it. Then what should we do? Adam's mind was reeling. His parents, his sister, and he hadn't even watched this season's new anime yet. Oh right. Young man, do you like games? Aqua suddenly perked up, speaking to him as if trying to entice him. Since you're an otaku, there's no way you don't like games, right? Hey! Compensation, compensation! Aqua pulled out a stack of papers that looked like flyers from her bosom and handed them to Adam. Next, I'll send you to another world to live a new life. In return, I won't erase your memories, and I'll even give you a cheat ability. This will allow you to live freely and prosperously in the other world. Aqua's little scheme was clicking along nicely. This way, she could resolve the mistake in guidance, compensate Adam, and naturally sweep this matter under the rug. It was killing two birds with one stone. What about the original Sujiro Kifuja, you ask? Who cares about him? If the heavenly realm discovered her negligence, she would be punished at best, and at worst, she might lose her job. If she lost her job, she wouldn't be able to eat, drink, and be merry here anymore. So, do you accept? Aqua looked at him with a smug expression, as if she had him all figured out. If he didn't know the original story, Adam might have compromised. But knowing that he would be given a cheat ability anyway, how could he be content with just one? As an adult, he would demand more. That's not right, Goddess Aqua. What? This cheat ability is something you were going to give me anyway, right? He bluntly exposed her lie, guiding the deceased, then sending them to another world while giving them a special ability. That's your job. That's correct. Aqua didn't try to hide it and said frankly, of course, if you don't want this, there's another option, going to heaven, a super boring world with no body, no entertainment, and where you can't eat or drink. Humph, don't try to fool me. Goddess Aqua, your main purpose is to guide those people to another world, right? This might be related to your performance, or perhaps your reputation among the gods. I guess if the number of people is too low or incorrect, you'll definitely be punished. So, there's only one truth. You won't easily give up on any potential ice guy person, especially one you've mistakenly brought over. Goddess Aqua, playing dumb won't work. You've deceived me. Adam adjusted his non-existent glasses, striking Conan's classic pose. Ah! Aqua, who had been wearing a "I've got you figured out" expression just a moment ago, now looked at him with tears in her eyes after being exposed. That's right, that's right. So what do you want? She started throwing a tantrum, with tears flowing from her azure eyes. Seriously, when they first met, he thought she had the aura of a goddess. How blind he was! He had thought the anime used exaggerated drawing techniques, but in reality, she was even more exaggerated. All right, Goddess Aqua, I didn't mean to bully you. Adam pinched the bridge of his nose and sighed, saying, how about this, 3 abilities? Just give me 3 abilities and I'll... No, I can't do that. Aqua said tearfully, the heavenly contract is 1 per person, and each contract can only choose 1 ability. These are the rules of the heavenly realm, and I can't change them. TCH, damn heavenly rules. No, there's a way. Then let's change the conditions, how about 2 abilities? Hey? I told you, I can't change the heavenly rules. Aqua angrily said to him, no matter who it is, they can only have 1 contract. That's it. Adam said to her with a grin, the rule of 1 contract per person is a heavenly regulation, but I'm different. Sujiro Kifuja and Adam Carter aren't the same person at all. What, you mean? Aqua's not-so-wrinkled brain finally understood that he wanted to usurp the contract of the person he had replaced. This. She fell into deep thought. Well, do you agree? Adam didn't rush her, giving her enough time to think. Unfortunately, just as she was thinking, the teleportation array in this spacious room lit up again, and a blurry figure appeared faintly in the array. Oh my, time is running out, Goddess Aqua. If you don't make a decision soon, you'll be exposed. He put appropriate pressure on her, forcing her to make a quick decision. You need to leave me time to choose my abilities, you know. Aqua gritted her teeth and stomped her foot. Fine. I agree to your request, but in return, you're not allowed to tell anyone about this. Of course, I definitely won't say anything. Then, please quickly choose your abilities. Aqua assumed her goddess posture, indicating that he could begin. I want the ability to traverse worlds. Adam's words were shocking. Could it be that you still want to return to your original world? Don't dream about it, without coordinates, you can't go back. Even so, I can't give up. As long as I keep searching, one day I'll return. Fine. Contract established, next one. Aqua urged him to choose quickly. For the second one, I want the skill of analysis and imitation. Alright. A beam of white light surged into Adam's body, while a blue magic circle appeared under his feet. Aqua spoke solemnly. O hero! May you stand out among the many reserve heroes and become the one to defeat the Demon King. To the arrival of the sadistic Kazuma and the idiotic goddess. I can't believe I've really come to another world. After a blinding flash of white light, upon opening his eyes again, he had arrived in another world. The surroundings were no longer towering steel cities, but earthen wooden houses built with mud and tiles, giving off a strong medieval atmosphere of another world. On the streets, there were no steel box-like cars, but instead two-wheeled wooden carriages. Walking on the streets were strong beastmen, dwarf-like short people, beautiful elves, and humans. All races coexisted harmoniously. The passers-by were chatting and laughing, creating a very lively atmosphere. For now, let's set aside the perplexing question of why, after transmigrating, I transmigrated again, and finally gained the ability to transmigrate. Instead, let's examine the abilities I acquired from that idiotic goddess. Adam refrained from immediate action. Instead, he closed his eyes to assess the compensation he had, rather forcefully, obtained from the foolish goddess Aqua. After pondering in his mind for a moment, he opened his eyes with a pleased expression. I see, so that's how it is. He understood how to use his abilities. Two cheat-level abilities, World Traversing and Analyze and Copy, both were super powerful abilities that could be considered game-breaking cheat codes. Although there were still significant restrictions on their use, it was undeniable that they would be of great help to him. First was World Traversing. World Traversing, as the name suggests, meant traveling to other worlds, quite fitting for its title. However, it came with a prerequisite, an anchor point, or what you might call coordinates. Imagine each alternate world as a point. You could traverse these worlds, but only if you possessed their coordinates. Only after establishing a connection with a world's coordinate point and forming a channel could you activate the ability to traverse worlds and arrive in an alternate realm. No wonder Aqua said the hope of returning was slim to none. World coordinate points were elusive, and alternate worlds were as numerous as stars in the sky. Even this world was just a tiny planet among the vast number of existing alternate worlds. Wanting to return to the original world would require finding its coordinates, a task that was truly difficult, if not impossible. Fortunately, his ability was very strong and could automatically search for world coordinates. He didn't need to worry or put in effort, just wait patiently. It was just unknown how long it would take. Now, let's look at the last ability, Analyze and Copy. This was a rather simple, straightforward, and easy to understand ability, purely the ability to analyze and imitate. Moreover, after being enhanced by the idiotic goddess Aqua, the analysis aspect of the ability was greatly strengthened. It could analyze everything seen and directly learn and apply it. This included, but was not limited to, magic, martial arts, skills, and so on. If you still don't understand, you can think of it as a Sharingan without negative emotional effects. Extremely powerful. Of course, there were drawbacks, that is, he couldn't use abilities that his own attributes didn't meet the standards for. For example, he could analyze and copy Megaman's explosion magic, but he couldn't use it due to insufficient mana. However, compared to the drawbacks, the advantages were infinitely expanded. Traversing through myriad worlds, analyzing various powerful abilities, then imitating and using them to strengthen his own abilities. He'd be weak in the early stages, but become increasingly overpowered as time went on. What kind of wish fulfillment protagonist is this? Not good. I must resist the gradually perverted smile. Right now, I'm still very weak, I can't be reckless, I need to be steady. MC in the future, where's Gaku? I want to beat the shit out of him right now. Calming his excited heart, Adam looked around, determining his geographical location. This is... I see, the newbie village Axel, hey. After carefully examining the signs on the road, he knew that the place where he appeared was exactly where Aqua and Sato Kazuma first came to the other world in the original story, also the starting point of the story plot. Hehe, since that's the case, I'll wait here a bit longer. After saying this, Adam walked to the side, leaving quite a bit of space where he had been standing. He didn't choose to rush to the Adventurers Guild to register as an adventurer and go on a rampage, then learn all the abilities of the other world. The reason for waiting here was only one: he was waiting for the arrival of the male and female protagonists. That's right. The idiotic goddess Aqua, and the original male protagonist, the sadistic Kazuma. Because, at the moment of his departure, he saw that suddenly opened magic circle, and the figure that appeared inside was Kazuma wearing a green tracksuit. He believed it wouldn't be long before Kazuma would say, "Then I'll take you with me." Then the two of them would descend from the sky, arriving at the newbie village Axel. A useless goddess, a useless otaku, and in a situation without cheat abilities, he would step forward like a savior, agreeing to take care of them and form a party. At that time, gaining the gratitude of the two, with Aqua's super strong support as a healer, and Kazuma providing cover. Wouldn't that make him take off immediately? So, Adam waited patiently on the side. 1 hour passed. 2 hours passed. 3 hours. Yo, what's the deal? Those two are taking their time getting here. Adam had been standing here like an idiot for nearly 3 hours, but he hadn't seen even a shadow of the two. Could it be that the white light was too dazzling, flashing by too quickly, causing me to see wrong? So it wasn't actually Kazuma, but someone else. He fell into self-doubt. No, that's not right. Could it be, because he is taking too long to choose his ability, it's not yet time for the two of them to come down? Suddenly remembering that in the original story, Kazuma took too long to choose his ability, Aqua couldn't help but mock him and said extremely unpleasant things, causing him to angrily choose her as his skill to bring down to the mortal world. Adam instantly understood. So, he'd better wait a bit longer. The sun gradually rose higher, and the temperature got hotter and hotter. Standing under the sun was too scorching, Adam had to hide in the shade. Damn it, for the future, I must endure. The long wait made him so angry he wanted to leave, but thinking about having Aqua's super strong support in the future, he could only grit his teeth and continue waiting. Finally, when he was getting drowsy from waiting, a commotion came from nearby. Ah! 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 It's animal ears! Someone has animal ears! And elves! Is this, the other world? A blue-haired woman shouted at the top of her lungs, while a young man in a tracksuit gawked at the passing crowds, commenting on every sight. The pair appeared not far from Adam. Could it be? Aqua and Sato Kazuma. At last, they had arrived. Ah! 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 Hey, you're so noisy! Kazuma didn't understand what it meant to respect a goddess, nor did he know how to be courteous to women. He rudely mocked, "Stop screaming, what if I'm mistaken as being with you, a retarded woman?" Ah! Hearing this, Aqua screamed even louder, while pouncing on him and tightly gripping his neck. Kazuma, being an advocate for gender equality, of course wouldn't indulge her, so he fought back, and they started fighting. Seeing this, Adam knew it was time for him to make his entrance. Hey, what's all the ruckus about? Oh, if it isn't the big shot goddess Aqua. Fancy meeting you here. The sudden voice interjecting instantly attracted the attention of both of them. You are, who? Kazuma looked at him with a confused expression, while Aqua immediately remembered and shouted, "Ah, it's you. Hey there, Goddess-sama." Adam said with a grin. He turned to Kazuma and added, "Sup, newbie? I'm Adam Carter, been here a hot minute longer than you. 3 traveling together." Newbie. Kazuma's eyes lit up as he looked at Adam. Wait a section. You're from another world too, aren't you? That's awesome. Hehe, you got it. I'm Sato Kazuma, 16 years young. It's great to meet you. Well, Kazuma, my friend, I'm Adam Carter, 19 years old, and the pleasure's all mine. Looks like we're in for quite a ride together. The two introduced themselves to each other, and the atmosphere became friendly. Although Kazuma didn't get any cheat-like special abilities, his extremely high luck and occasional flashes of insight were still quite useful in certain situations. Why are you two introducing yourselves so casually? Aqua shouted from the side, oblivious to the atmosphere. Don't you realize what situation we're in? What situation? Me, the wise goddess of water Aqua, why am I stuck in the mortal realm? After saying this, Aqua angrily pounced on Kazuma again, desperately choking his neck and shaking him back and forth without letting go. Hey, I've been wondering about something, Adam said with a friendly smile, tapping his forehead playfully. How come our lovely goddess Aqua, who's usually busy guiding folks from other worlds, is hanging out with us in this cozy little town of Axel? It's quite a surprise, isn't it? Actually. Kazuma began to explain the situation after hearing this. Adam nodded after listening. I see, I understand now. Things developed just as in the original story. Kazuma Sato was scared to death and arrived in the realm of the dead, and due to taking too long to choose an ability, he was mocked. In a fit of anger, he brought the idiotic goddess Aqua to the mortal realm. Speaking of which, if you're so unwilling, just forget it. You can go back on your own. Kazuma said, oblivious to the gravity of the situation. What are you saying? I can't go back, that's the problem. What should I do? What should I do? Please, tell me what I should do. Aqua trembled, her voice rising in panic. She clutched her head with both hands, pacing back and forth and crying. Hey, I just had a thought. Adam chimed in with a friendly smile. What if we teamed up to take down the Demon King? It could be our ticket to solving this whole situation. Plus, it might be the key to getting our lovely goddess Aqua back to her heavenly home. What do you guys think? To return home was simple, defeat the Demon King and obtain the wish promised by the gods. In fact, he had just realized that he had fallen into a dead end. He had chosen the wrong two cheat abilities. If it was for defeating the Demon King, then his ability could have been changed to instant death magic or fantasy creation, etc. Powerful abilities specifically designed to counter the Demon King. Why go to such lengths for the ability to travel between worlds? It was putting the cart before the horse. Unfortunately, it was too late to say anything now. Adam's words made Aqua see hope of returning to the divine realm, and she loudly praised, "That's it. We just need to defeat the Demon King. As expected of the hero I chose, you're so quick-witted." Oh, is that so? Adam looked at her with a hint of deeper meaning. Had this scatterbrained goddess already forgotten that she'd chosen him by mistake, purely by chance? Kazuma, who was on the side, also nodded. Looking at the current situation, this seems to be the only way. That's right, let's go defeat the Demon King now. Aqua took big strides forward, rushing eagerly towards the village entrance, ready to set out on the road to defeat the Demon King. But before she could take off, Adam grabbed her arm and yanked her back. Whoa there, Speedy. Aqua, you're not planning on rushing off to face the Demon King just yet, are you? Why not? She replied, tilting her head curiously. Adam grinned and gestured at their casual attire. Well, my dear goddess, we might be a tad underdressed for this kinda dungerous adventure. Plus, our skills are probably as fresh as morning dew. Maybe we should gear up a bit first, don't you think? Oh, I see what you mean. Aqua nodded, a smile of understanding spreading across her face. Kazuma stroked his smooth chin, thought for a moment, and said, in this situation, we should first go to the Adventurers Guild to gather information, then level up ourselves. That's right. The Adventurers Guild was an organization formed to fight against the Demon King or to subjugate monsters. It was a very common human organization in typical otherworld adventure games. Aqua, tell me the location of the Adventurers Guild. Kazuma asked her to tell him the location of the guild. But Aqua looked completely confused and stupidly replied, Hey? How would I know something like that? I was suddenly brought down here, how could I possibly know? Useless good-for-nothing goddess. Kazuma rudely insulted her, then asked Adam, Senpai, do you know? Senpai equals senior. Sorry, I just arrived here too. I hadn't even had a chance to act before I met you guys. Why don't we ask a passerby? Adam shrugged as he replied. Sigh, we have no choice but to do that. Afterwards, the three learned the location of the Adventurers Guild from a passerby wearing armor who looked like an adventurer. Go straight ahead, then turn right, and keep going straight and you'll be there. Thank you. The three thanked him and left, arriving shortly after. The Adventurers Guild, this must be it. Thanks to the language proficiency bestowed by Aqua, Adam naturally understood the words written on the sign at the entrance. He then said to them beside him, "Let's go in." "Okay. Hurry up." Aqua took the lead and pushed open the large doors of the Adventurers Guild, with Adam and Kazuma closely following her footsteps. As soon as they entered, the three heard a welcoming voice. "Welcome. If you need job introductions, please go to the counter inside. If you need a meal, please feel free to sit at any empty seat." A red-haired waitress came up to them kindly, gave the three some advice, and then gracefully left. "Let's go become adventurers." They hurried to the counter without stopping. The counter lady was a beautiful woman who looked very gentle, with wavy long hair and a broad bosom, a very outstanding mature woman. Kazuma's cheeks turned slightly red, the huge bosom was quite impactful for this shut-in gamer. Left with no choice, Adam stepped forward. "Hello, beautiful lady, the three of us would like to register as adventurers." "You want to become adventurers? I understand. Registering as an adventurer requires a registration fee, is that all right?" Although she was a bit embarrassed at being called beautiful, the counter lady's professional demeanor still made her try to stay calm. Registration fee. Adam suddenly remembered that all three of them were penniless, let alone money, they didn't even have anything to exchange for money. "Please wait a moment, allow us to come back later." "All right." The three left the counter and sat at an empty table in the hall to discuss. "What should we do? We don't have any money." He threw out this huge problem standing in front of everyone. "Hey, Aqua, don't you have any money as a goddess?" "Hey! How could I possibly have any? I was suddenly brought down here, how could I possibly have any? TCH, useless good-for-nothing goddess. Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? You shut in Kazuma." The two started arguing again, and it seemed like they might start fighting in a moment. Wait. Adam hurriedly pulled the two apart. "Stop fighting, I have an idea." "What idea?" X2. The two asked in unison. "A loan. A loan." X2. "That's right, a loan. We're penniless, so if we want to become adventurers, we can only take out a loan." Adam tapped the table, making a dong-dong sound. "Now, we could try sweet-talking the guild into giving us a loan, but let's be real, they'd probably laugh us out the door. So, plan B, we hit up some of these other adventurers and see if they're feeling generous." "That's a good idea." Kazuma also agreed with his plan. However, Aqua didn't think so. "Humph, I am the water goddess Aqua. Mere money, wouldn't it be fine if people just make offerings to me?" After saying this, Aqua left the table to look for her believers. Then, just like in the original story, she was given charity by the believers of her junior, goddess Eris. When Aqua returned in tears, Adam and Kazuma offered her half-hearted consolation. And so, with the Xi 3000 Xi equals Eris received as charity, the three successfully became adventurers. 04 Sword Master. "Hello, we'd like to become adventurers." "Alright, Xi 3000 received." Returning to the counter, they handed over the money to the receptionist, who took it and passed back 3 paper documents. "Please complete these forms, all 3 of you." She was truly a professional receptionist. Even after that embarrassing incident earlier, she didn't mock them and just carried out her work diligently. Height, weight, age, characteristics, all pretty standard items. Bet they don't have a box for killer dance moves though. Adam muttered as he began to fill out his name. Adam Carter. Height, 1,85 m. Weight, 80 kg. Age, 19 years. Hair, black eyes, grey. Notable characteristics, sword-like piercing gaze and witty sense of humor. Writing, X3. After carefully filling out the forms, the 3 returned them. "Very well, received. Now, please listen to the detailed explanation." The receptionist explained the important points for adventurers to the 3 of them, then took out some kind of card for them to touch. "Please touch this card. This will reveal your ability parameters stats and allow you to choose a suitable profession. In the KonoSuba world, adventurer professions are determined from the start. Being able to choose a one right away is really great." Kazuma became a regular adventurer, Aqua shone brightly as a very rare high priest, and as for Adam, he lightly touched the card, and a not too bright light flashed briefly before fading. "Let me see." Adam held the card in his hand. Not bad at all. The stats displayed on the card were quite impressive. Although he didn't know what the standard values were, his were twice as high as Kazuma's. It seemed he had great potential indeed. So high. Sure enough, the receptionist was amazed when she saw it, except for luck, which is average, all your other attributes are at the highest level. It made sense, his stats were more than twice those of Kazuma, an ordinary young man, so they must far exceed those of others too. Hahaha. I'm like, super buff and mega hot. Adam couldn't help but daydream about himself on a stage, with a bunch of mortals going nuts over his crazy good stats. Although he had a cheat ability to assist him, and he wouldn't end up too weak in the end anyway, who would refuse a high starting point? A high starting point also means a high peak. Let's see, Crusader, Sword Master, High Priest, Archwizard, you can choose any of these. The receptionist suggested, I recommend you choose Sword Master, which has the strongest attack power, because your strength and stamina are particularly outstanding. Sword Master? Sweet, sign me up for that. Unlike Kazuma, who could only choose to be an adventurer, Adam could freely choose any profession. Of course, choosing Sword Master was not a bad choice either. Swordsmanship is not inferior to any other profession, and in any world, there will always be those who earn the title of Sword Saint. When the time comes, he could use his cheat level ability of analysis and imitation to copy their techniques. If I, Adam Carter, had not been born, the way of the sword would be in eternal darkness. The appearance of another top-tier profession made everyone cheer, and even Aqua was surprised. How can a mere otaku have such high physical stats? Yet, is senpai really a shut-in? Tears of envy formed at the corners of Kazuma's mouth. Right then, it hit him like a ton of bricks. You can't judge a book by its cover. Some of these so-called nerds might look like they'd struggle to lift a manga, but underneath those baggy hoodies? Surprise, surprise, they're packing some serious muscle power that'd make gym brothers green with envy. Didn't I tell you? Although I'm an otaku, I exercise regularly to maintain my health, so my physical abilities far exceed the average person's. Dude, are you one of those cool otaku types? Kazuma joked, you know, the ones who say they're into anime but actually have a life outside their room? Man, us neets are the real losers here. He looked quite dejected. But there was no time to comfort him now, they had to make plans for tonight's food and lodging. Even staying in a stable costs money, you know. Time is important now, let's accept a quest and earn some bounty right away. Kazuma, recovering from his disappointment, suggested they take on a quest. He had always longed for this kind of life, and was finally about to fulfill his wish. Hold up, man. We can't just dive into quests like that. Adam flatly refused. Why not? Dude, we're basically running around in our birthday suits here. No gear, no go. The three of them were currently penniless, not even having enough money to buy the cheapest short sword. Did they expect to fight monsters barehanded? Ah, if only I had asked for the ability of fantasy creation. Adam slumped on the table, his face full of regret. Hey, I totally forgot to ask what ability you got from Aqua. Kazuma just realized that unlike him, a useless guy, Adam was a true Ice Guy protagonist with a cheat ability. At the same time, he wondered if Adam's ability could help them out of their current situation. Oh, my cheat? It's called Analyze and Copy. Pretty much does what it says on the tin, I can analyze out anything and then use it myself. Whoa! Which protagonist's skill is that? It's way too powerful. As an otaku, Kazuma immediately understood the power of this ability. The more people he encounters, the more abilities he can learn, and he'll just keep getting stronger and stronger, with no limit. But unfortunately, it's of no help to us right now. Adam spread his hands helplessly, I haven't analyzed or imitated any abilities yet. I see. Kazuma rubbed his chin, thought for a moment, and then asked, Carter-senpai, can you analyze Aqua's skills and imitate them? His idea was simple, if Adam could mimic her abilities, their group would have two high priests with divine powers. Better yet, with his impressive stats, he'd be like a souped-up version of Aqua, far more potent than the original. No, I can't. Adam denied his guess, saying, I can't imitate Aqua's skills. Why not? Sato-kun, have you heard of the dilemma of reasoning? It's a logical puzzle involving two hypothetical judgments and one disjunctive judgment with two options as premises. This forms the basis of hypothetical disjunctive reasoning. The conclusion can be either a categorical or disjunctive judgment. Since it often presents a dilemma, it's aptly named the dilemma of reasoning. Unfortunately, this explanation flew right over Aqua's and Kazuma's heads. They stared at Adam, utterly bewildered. Clearly, such complex logic was a bit much for a ditzy goddess and an average high school student. Let me break it down with a classic example, the paradox of an omnipotent god. Can God create a stone so heavy that even he can't lift it? If he can, then he's not all-powerful because he can't lift the stone. If he can't, then he's not all-powerful because he can't create such a stone. It's a catch-22. Whoa, hold up. Kazuma's eyes lit up. You could have just said that from the get-go, man. Glad you're catching on. Adam said with a grin, so yet, to dodge that whole God versus rock mess, my fancy analyze and copy skill can't touch Aqua or any other big shot deities. Basically, I'm not gonna be pulling any of her stunts anytime soon. And this is one of the drawbacks of his analyze and copy. Or rather, it's a limitation set by Aqua and other deities on Adam, with the purpose of preventing him from turning around and analyzing and imitating the deities themselves. Ah, I see. Kazuma looked disappointed. Looks like our ace in the hole isn't so ace why after all, hey. Hey, easy there, champ, Adam grumbled, fighting the urge to give Kazuma a playful nudge. You're not wrong, but ouch, my pride. So, what's the game plan? We're not exactly monster-slaying material right now. Kazuma flopped dramatically onto the table, looking like a deflated balloon. Any bright ideas floating around in that noggin of yours? Adam thought for a moment, then said. We have no choice but to find part-time jobs. 05 borrowing money. Or extortion. Yo, let's hustle and have a blast. Workers are the best of the best. We'll keep it on the down low, then blow everyone's minds. Ain't no job too tough, only brave workers. But reality hit them like a ton of bricks. Fast forward a week, and our trio found themselves sweating it out at a construction site. Talk about a reality check. Alright, good work everyone, that's it for today. Here's your daily wage. Thank you. Good work, boss. Good work. Work. Once they got their measly pay from the boss, Adam and the crew hit up the local bathhouse. They scrubbed off all the grime, chilled in the steamy tub, and topped it off with a cold glass of milk. Ah, I'm alive again. Delicious. Milk after hard work is truly amazing. Adam downed his milk like a champ and plopped onto the chair by the door, not saying a peep. What's wrong? You seem down today. You're not sick, are you? Aqua walked up to him with concern, placing her hand on his forehead to check his temperature. Carter-senpai hasn't spoken all day. Did something happen? Kazuma also came over, asking with genuine concern. These two knuckleheads, have they already gotten hooked on this gig? It's wild to think one of them used to be a big shot goddess, and the other was just a high schooler with dreams of making it big. Aqua, Kazuma. Yes. The two responded, not understanding what he wanted to say. Why, are we here in the first place? Adam shook the empty milk bottle, looking at the two through the glass. We're busting our butts every day for peanuts, crashing in this nasty stable. Weren't we supposed to be kicking the Demon King's butt? Look at us now. We can't even save up for decent gear, let alone our next meal if we don't work. How are we gonna take down the big bad when we're scraping by like this? What the heck are we even doing, guys? His words were like a bolt from the blue, waking Aqua and Kazuma from their part-time job trance. But wasn't it you who said we should work? Aqua blamed him, starting to shift responsibility. That's true, but wasn't that to survive at the time? Working was the top priority then, right? It's clearly Adam's fault. Aqua's ability to throw tantrums and shift blame was truly first class. No matter what, she was determined to pin it on Adam. Carter-senpai is right, we can't continue like this. Kazuma also woke up, realizing they couldn't keep wasting time in the starting village, but without money to buy equipment, how can we complete adventurer quests? Indeed, as Kazuma said, without money, we can't buy equipment. Without equipment, we can't defeat monsters and earn bounties to complete quests. In the end, it all comes down to money. Adam scratched his head, gave it some thought, and said, okay, here's the deal, I'm gonna hit the town tomorrow and see if I can sweet-talk someone into lending us a fat stack of cash. Fingers crossed. Borrow money. Borrow money. Borrowing money, again. Aqua had already quietly backed away, not wanting to be involved, and said, "No way, I'm never borrowing money again." The last time they borrowed money had caused her significant emotional trauma. She absolutely refused to agree to borrow money again. At least, she wouldn't go again. "Don't worry, I'll go borrow the money this time," Adam reassured her. "Alright then, we'll wait for your good news, Carter-senpai." Kazuma still trusted him, after all, his suggestions had always been the best choices. After dinner, the three returned to the stable, laid down a thin sheet, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, Adam felt an unbearable weight on his body, making it hard to breathe. So heavy. Adam's eyes flew open to find Aqua snuggling up to him, basically using him as a human pillow. "Hey, Aqua, you're heavy. Let go quickly." "No. I'm cold." She mumbled sleepily, then hugged him even tighter. It was spring, but the nights remained chilly. With no thick blankets or warm clothes, the trio shivered under their thin sheet. As the hours crept by, the cold only intensified, seeping into their bones. Huddling together for warmth was the best way to ward off the cold. However, Adam was, after all, a normal young man with vigorous blood flow. Being embraced by a beautiful girl would naturally make it hard for him to maintain composure. Although Aqua's intelligence was disappointing, her otherworldly beauty, well-proportioned and voluptuous figure, and the excellent aura of a goddess made her rank among the top-tier beauties in all anime. The restless Ad-chan can't sleep. "Aqua, go hug Satu." "No way. That pervert Kazuma is always up to no good, sneaking around. I won't go over there." Hearing his suggestion, Aqua immediately refused and tightened her embrace. Suddenly, the sound of heavy, rapid breathing could be heard, particularly noticeable in the quiet night. "Yo, Kazuma. What's up? We gotta hustle and make some serious cash to ditch this stable, man. At least, we need our own separate rooms." "Yes, you're right." Kazuma's voice sounded a bit embarrassed. Young men in puberty always struggle to suppress their inner excitement. Early the next morning, the three came out of the stable. "Aqua, Kazuma, you two go to work today, while I'll go borrow money." Adam instructed the two, giving them hope for success. "If things go smoothly, we might be able to buy weapons tomorrow, and start taking on quests for bounties the day after." "Oh, we're counting on you, senpai." "I believe in you, Adam." Watching Aqua and Kazuma leave, he also turned and walked into town. He was looking for a shop, a small shop selling magic items. That's right, it was Wiz's shop. Wiz, one of the 8 generals of the Demon King's army. Responsible for the barrier of the Demon King's castle, she was a lich. She was also the owner of a magic item shop in Axel Town, but in reality, she had no business acumen. She often bought and sold strange items, causing the shop to operate at a loss, with no income. By the way, the magic items Wiz purchased were made by Megumin's father, Hyoze. In the anime, she was portrayed as a simple person with a gentle and weak personality. After becoming a lich, she never harmed humans, so she wasn't wanted. Unlike her gentle demeanor as a lich, when she was human, she was truly a hot-tempered sister, fiery, despising demons, and uncompromising. Even when facing surrendering Demon King's army troops, she wouldn't hold back. She was known as the militant Ice Witch. And the person Adam wanted to borrow money from was her. As a human, the idea of borrowing, extorting, money from a lich was thrilling just to think about. 06 This is what you call a win-win situation. Although Axel was a beginner's village and not very large, the layout of its streets was somewhat complex. At least Adam had been searching the town for quite a while without finding Wiz's magic item shop. Lucky for Adam, Wiz was pretty well known in Axel. Most folks in town had heard about the magic shop lady who can't seem to turn a profit. It was kind of her claim to fame. After asking 2 or 3 people in succession, he finally arrived at the magic item shop. Finally found the place. Geez, it's like playing hide and seek with a shop. Adam chuckled, figuring out why Wiz's business was tanking faster than a lead balloon. Forget Wiz's weird knickknacks for a SEC, the shop's location was a total facepalm moment. Who in their right mind plops a store in the boonies? This ain't some spooky fortune teller's den, it's a magic shop that needs foot traffic like fish need water. Knock knock knock. Adam knocked and entered. Welcome. Someone greeted him as soon as he entered. This level of service was quite good. The shopkeeper before him was a sight to behold. Brown long hair with a single strand sticking up, about 20 years old, large almond eyes, cherry-like small mouth in stark contrast with her somewhat pale skin. A black-purple long dress with golden trim on the edges and sleeves, a curvaceous figure, and an extremely full bosom accentuated by several belt-like protective gear, attracting Adam's gaze. For some reason, she always carried a weak aura, giving people the impression that she was very easy to bully. "How may I help you?" Wiz asked softly with a warm smile on her face. "Our shop has a wide variety of magic items. There's surely one that suits you." Any regular Joe might have fallen for Wiz's sales pitch and bought some random magical doohickey, but Adam? He was broke as a joke. No way he could afford to splurge on anything fancy. He pretended and said, "Please allow me to look around first." "Certainly, please feel free to browse," Wiz said with a smile, then went to organize the merchandise. Approaching the counter, there really were quite a few items. However, there were even more bizarre products. For example, one that could greatly enhance the power of paralysis magic, but would also paralyze the caster to the point of immobility, another that would greatly expand the area of effect of water magic after use, but would also engulf the caster, resulting in mutual destruction as soon as it was used. And so on. There were many such bizarre items, occupying almost all the display space on the counter. He really couldn't understand how she managed to keep this shop running. After looking around for a while and understanding Wiz's unique taste, Adam knew the time was ripe to get down to business. Searching for her, he found her crouching in a corner not far away, organizing items on the shelves. "Oh my, all mine!" He couldn't help but exclaim inwardly. Wiz, crouching in the corner, outlined a beautiful roundness, her perfect curves leading one into endless fantasies, easily becoming lost in them. "What are you doing?" Although Adam's inner voice was scolding himself, he just couldn't control his eyes. Perhaps because he had been staring for too long, it caught Wiz's attention. She stood up in a panic, looking around herself, and asked in a low voice, "Is there something wrong with me?" If it were an ordinary girl, she would have either been shy or angry, and would have called Adam a pervert long ago. But Wiz was just too oblivious and didn't notice his unusual behavior. "It's nothing, I was just pondering a question." Of course, he wouldn't say he had been staring intently, instead smoothly transitioning to the purpose of his visit. "A question?" Wiz blinked her confused eyes. "Why, is Miss Wiz, known as the Ice Witch, in the beginner's village of Axel, and even running a magic item shop?" "Hey!" Wiz stood there dumbfounded, not quite reacting. After a moment, Wiz tapped her mouth with her left hand and lightly struck her palm with her right, as if suddenly understanding. "Oh, I see. You must be a junior member of my former team." She mistook Adam for a successor to one of her friends and said cheerfully, "Did you come all this way just to visit me?" "No," Adam replied bluntly. "No." Wiz's face fell in disappointment. "I've just been waiting here for those adventurer companions who told me, come back anytime when you're tired." "Is that right?" Hearing Wiz's words, Adam wasn't surprised. He asked pointedly, "Even if you've become a lich?" Adam's words hit Wiz like a thunderbolt. She was instantly flustered, her poor brain struggling to comprehend how her secret had been exposed. The fact that she had become a lich should not be known to anyone in the human community. However, after 2 or 3 breaths, she put on a look of understanding again and said, "I get it, you're actually a member of the Demon King's army, right?" "No." How can that be?" Her face was full of disbelief. "I'm human, a pure human," Adam said, pointing at his eyes as proof, "I can see through you because of these eyes that have been enhanced by a god." This was the enhancement magic that Aqua had specially applied to him before he left this morning. "Really? Really? Ugh!" Wiz let out a whimper. As a lich, she could sense the divine power contained in his eyes and knew he wasn't lying. But then, she defended herself, "Well, even though I'm a lich, I've never harmed humans." "I know. There's no bounty on me at the Adventurers Guild, so even if you defeat me, you won't get any reward." "I know. Then, Miss Wiz, although you're a lich who has never harmed humans, you're also one of the 8 generals of the Demon King's army, mainly responsible for creating and maintaining the Demon King's army's barrier, right? You even know about that." Wave after wave of her secrets being exposed, Wiz was left dizzy by his information bombs. "Miss Wiz, you wouldn't happen to be unaware that the Adventurers Guild has long-standing bounties on the Demon King's army generals, would you? The bounty for one is exceptionally generous, Hehe. Adam's voice gradually deepened, and compared to Wiz, a lich, he seemed more like a demon. No, as long as you don't defeat me, I'll do anything. Wiz said anxiously, hugging him and not letting go. Wait, what's with this development that's like something out of an erotic manga? This softness, this sweetness. Whoa there, brain. Let's keep things PG, shall we? Actually, my companions and I are novice adventurers who have just set out on our journey, but due to our empty pockets, we were hoping Miss Wiz could provide us with a little support. Adam did the universal show me the money gesture, rubbing his fingers together with a cheeky grin. C'mon, Wiz, time to cough up the cash. No need to make a fuss. Well, although I run a magic item shop, business is very poor. After years of operating at a loss, I don't have any savings left. Wiz said in a low and confused voice, I've been working hard too. But for some reason, the more I work, the more I lose. Let's be real, with Wiz's weird taste in merch and her not-so-hot business skills, she'd be toast if the locals didn't take pity on her. Girl's lucky she's not living off ramen noodles. Now, most people would have bailed after hearing about her money woes. But Adam? Nah, he smelled something fishy. He bet his bottom dollar that Wiz had a secret piggy bank stashed away somewhere, you know, for all those funky new items she's always itching to buy. And boy, was he gonna crack that piggy bank wide open. Oh, is that so? Well, I guess I have no choice but to gather my companions and defeat Miss Wiz. Please become the stepping stone for our adventure. Adam whispered maliciously in Wiz's ear, his words making her tremble. No, please don't. In the end, Wiz gave in and offered up her little nest egg. This is all my savings, a total of Xi100,000. Adam snagged the cash bag, still toasty and smelling nice, that she'd fished out from her impressive chest. Catching Wiz's puppy dog eyes and wobbly lip, he couldn't help but let out a little oof. No sweat, Miss Wiz. Think of this cash as a loan. I'll pay you back double in a month, tops. Promise. For real. You bet. I mean, do I look like some kinda demon to you? Don't answer that. You're worse than a demon. Wiz thought but didn't dare voice aloud, fearing he might renege on his promise to return her money. Alrighty then, catch ya later, Wiz-senpai. Adam chirped, waving goodbye. Adam put away the money pouch, smiled at her, and then left the magic item shop. I don't want to see you again. Wiz saw him go with a dejected look. After a while, as if suddenly remembering something, she cried out in alarm, oh no, I still don't know his name. And so, Wiz lent out Xi100,000 without even knowing the borrower's name. Meanwhile, Adam strolled back to the stable with a gleeful expression, his wildly beating heart barely contained. A mere novice adventurer daring to challenge a top-tier lich? He really didn't take Wiz seriously. An extortion? Not having his head twisted off was already her being merciful. I got carried away. But it's all because Wiz is too easy to bully. I ended up extorting Xi100,000 from her. But hey, let's not call it extortion, right? He's just saving Wiz from blowing her cash on weird junk. It's like he's her personal financial advisor or something. And as a bonus, Adam and his two companions now have initial funds to buy weapons and armor. What do you call a win-win situation? This is it. He shook the money pouch, the corners of his mouth turning up in a wild grin as he laughed loudly. Man, I'm on a roll. Might have to hit up Wiz's piggy bank again sometime. 07 Preparations for the adventure. Adam didn't expect it would be so easy to borrow Xi100,000 from Wiz. In fact, she was quite approachable to adventurers from the human faction, as long as her age wasn't mentioned. He was careful to avoid this topic during their negotiation. Here, Xi100,000. In the evening, Adam returned to the stable and opened the money pouch in front of Aqua and Kazuma. Xi100,000. Aqua exclaimed in surprise. 100,000 heiress. I knew Carter-senpai was reliable, but to be able to borrow this much. Kazuma's jaw dropped when he saw Adam score such a fat stack of cash in just one day. He glanced at the measly Xi100 left in his own pocket after splurging on a bath and some grub. The poor neat felt like crying over his empty wallet. But this comes at a price. Adam hadn't forgotten what he promised Wiz. In a month, we need to pay back double the amount, which is Xi200,000. 200,000. 200,000. The two who were drooling over the cash a second ago now backed away from the pouch like it was radioactive. Talk about a 180 degree. Whoa, Carter-senpai, that interest rate's through the roof. You sure we can pay back that much? Yeah, Adam. If we screw this up, our measly paychecks won't even make a dent. Sure, they had a point, but Adam wasn't sweating it. With a goddess and a cheat ability in his pocket, if he couldn't rake in the dough in a month, he might as well hang up his adventurer hat and start herding pigs in the sticks. Even if he didn't have to pay back the Xi100,000, Adam wasn't about to let his record get tarnished. A stand-up dude always pays his debts, no ifs, ands, or buts. Don't worry, I have a way to repay the money. We're a goddess and otherworlder combo, a mere Xi100,000 is nothing, paying it back will be a piece of cake. Adam didn't just borrow money today, he also gathered quite a bit of information, including the cabbage harvest season campaign. In about a month, it would be the season when cabbages mature, the cabbages that were worth Xi100,000 each in the original story. Even relying on just that, they could pay back the debt and even make a hefty profit. Oh, Carter-senpai is really reliable. That's right, he's the hero I've chosen a million times better than that pervert Kazuma, who only knows how to skulk about. Hey, you damned goddess! Aqua's words clearly hit a sore spot for Kazuma. His language became increasingly rude and vulgar, and he even started wrestling with her. Hey, cool it, you two. Adam jumped in, trying to break up the fight. Sure, this bickering might be their weird way of bonding, but they had bigger fish to fry right now. Pfft, I'm just calling it like I see it. Kazuma's a total creep. Aqua darted behind Adam, pressing herself against his back like a human shield. Hua. Kazuma looked ready to blow a gasket. Come on, Aqua, play nice. We're all on the same team here, right? Adam tried to smooth things over. He turned to Kazuma with a sympathetic shrug. Dude, you know how Aqua can be. Let's just let this one slide, yeah. Fine, whatever. You're off the hook this time, Aqua. Kazuma grumbled, backing down. Humph. Aqua stuck out her tongue. The two settled down for a moment. Seriously, they're too rowdy. Alright, let's circle back to our main topic. I've dug up some juicy info. Adam, Aqua, and Kazuma huddled together as he shared his findings. First off, we're in a town called Axel, a newbie-friendly spot far from the Demon King's turf. Now, I know we're itching to jump into quests, rake in some cash, gear up, and charge off to take down the big bad Demon King. But here's the deal, we've gotta play it smart. Our priority should be beefing ourselves up. Let's focus on leveling up, scoring better gear, and racking up some real-world experience before we even think about tackling the Demon King. Carter-senpai's right, we're way too green for this. Kazuma chimed in. As a seasoned gamer, he knew the drill, before taking on the big bad Demon King, they'd need to level up their skills big time. Okay, so here's the deal, we can't go around calling ourselves the Hero Squad or anything like that. Hey? What gives? I made Adam the hero, so why can't we flaunt it? Aqua whined, looking put out. Well, let's just say the whole hero thing in this world is kinda messy. Messy? What's that supposed to mean? It means there's a bunch of good guys and bad guys all mixed up, and you can't tell who's who, Kazuma chimed in, seeing Aqua's confused face. It's like a big ol' hero soup, and not the tasty kind. I'm impressed you know that, Sato-kun. Adam said approvingly. He then elaborated, countless people in this world have been summoned by goddesses, all claiming to be heroes. However, their selfish pursuits have led most to neglect their heroic duties. Worse still, they've destabilized the world, severely tarnishing the once prestigious title of hero. Adam wasn't deceiving Aqua, he was stating the facts as they were. For instance, in the original storyline, a masochistic balding man with the ability called fantasy creation had constructed a mobile fortress capable of destroying entire countries. This fortress, despite its creator's intentions, still roams the continent unchecked. Numerous such otherworlders had appeared, tarnishing the once noble title of hero. Of course, if we want to make a name for ourselves, we need to find the right title and positioning for our team. We can't call ourselves heroes, but champions should work just fine. Though it's a step down from hero, champion still carries a positive image perfect for building an adventurer team's reputation. Whatever works. Kazuma shrugged. But Aqua started to protest. Kazuma's indifference was clear, but Aqua struggled to accept it. Now wasn't the time to humor her objections, though. One more thing, Aqua. You can't call yourself a goddess for now. What? Why not? Aqua's face fell as soon as Adam said it. A goddess who can't even call herself one? Talk about unfair. There aren't any goddesses, well, openly descending to this world. Adam said, carefully rephrasing his statement as he recalled Eris from the original story, we'll grow stronger over time, and our reputation will spread. What if word of Goddess Aqua reaches the Demon King's ears? He placed his hands on Aqua's shoulders and spoke with gravity. Aqua, you're crucial to defeating the Demon King. Your safety is our top priority. If goddesses, who traditionally stay out of mortal affairs, suddenly joined the human side, wouldn't the Demon King launch a full-scale attack upon learning this? We must avoid such risks. This situation also hints that the heavenly realm can no longer remain idle. Why else would they grant Kazuma's absurd request? Even in a comedic tale, such weighty implications lurk beneath the surface. In the original story, Aqua's weakening magic was key to defeating the Demon King, allowing Kazuma to ultimately vanquish him. Yet, Aqua should probably cool it with the whole goddess thing. I mean, no offense, but you don't exactly scream divine being anyway. Hey! What's that supposed to mean? Chill out, Aqua. Just roll with it, okay? Aqua huffed, fine, whatever. If Adam says so, I guess I'll play along. That's the spirit. Adam grinned, giving her a thumbs up, alright, let's call it a day. Tomorrow's gonna be epic, we're hitting the shops for some gear, then kicking off our adventurer gig. It's gonna be lit. Oh. Oh. The two cheered and then fell asleep. 08 First adventure ends in miserable defeat. Man, how'd we end up like this? We've got gear and some crazy powers, but we still couldn't nail that quest. What the heck went wrong? In Axel's newbie town, Adam, Aqua, and Kazuma were sprawled out on Main Street, soaked to the bone and sticky as glue. Their eyes were as dead as doornails, staring up at the sky like they'd just seen their dreams go up in smoke. Sky-gazing blues. Boo-hoo sniff boo-hoo. Aqua was bawling her eyes out. Poor thing felt like the universe had it out for her. Some goddess she was, no heavenly vibe whatsoever. Instead, she'd been tossed around like a rag doll by the town's weakest baddies. Kazuma was inching away, trying to act like he didn't know these weirdos. Adam wanted to bolt too, but Aqua had him in a death grip. Folks walking by were giving them looks that screamed, what's wrong with these losers? Whatever. Like they say, if you don't cringe at yourself, others will cringe for you. Talk about looking on the bright side, hey? Come on, Aqua, dry those tears. Adam said, offering a hand to the blubbering goddess, let's get cleaned up and wash away this mess. We can't have you looking disheveled, it's completely ruining your divine image. Once we're presentable, we'll figure out why our team's such a disaster. Aqua sniffled, finally calming down. The trio booked it to the public baths for a much-needed scrub down. Now, about how they ended up in this sorry state, it all started yesterday when they were shopping for equipment. Guys, we've got Xi 100000 to play with as newbie adventurers. But here's the deal, we gotta be smart about our equipment. Adam said, tossing the money pouch like a hot potato, it's all about making the right choices, you know. Hey? What do you mean by right choices? Yeah, I'm lost. What are you getting at? Aqua and Kazuma scratched their heads, looking totally confused. Listen, if we splurge on basic beginner equipment, sure, we'll look the part. But when it's time to upgrade, we'll be flat broke. We need to think long-term here. It's similar to Japanese RPGs, where characters level up and battle monsters. The protagonist, a hero destined to defeat the Demon King, starts weak. As they journey, their level increases, skills strengthen, and equipment improves. You wouldn't expect the hero to face the Demon King with a wooden stick, would you? At the very least, they'd need a holy sword. If the Xi 100000 were their own money, it wouldn't be an issue. They could save up for better equipment before reaching higher levels. This creates a cycle: earn money, invest in equipment, earn more money, invest in better equipment, and so on. But here's the kicker. This cash isn't theirs to burn, they're borrowing it from Wiz. So, picture this, they grind like crazy, level up, and finally save enough for some gear. But wait! They gotta use that hard-earned dough to pay back her instead. This would leave a glaring hole in their equipment progression. You might wonder, what about the upcoming cabbage harvest season campaign? Sure, the harvest season would bring in a hefty chunk of change. But that's just robbing Peter to pay Paul, using tomorrow's paycheck to cover today's bills, kicking the can down the road. At the end of the day, they'd still be on the hook for their current expenses. What if they used the money more strategically, investing in fewer low-level items and instead acquiring 1 or 2 high-quality pieces of equipment? Wouldn't that be more cost-effective? This approach could allow them to bypass the current tier and aim directly for the next level of gear. Surely everyone grasps the concept that one big leap forward paves the way for more rapid progress? However, here's where the real challenge emerges. All 3 were novice adventurers. To build teamwork, they chose a quest that all newbie adventurers must do. Subjugating giant toads. Giant toads, or giant frogs, are the lowest level monsters that frequently prey on livestock in farmlands. According to the receptionist, fully equipped beginners could easily defeat these creatures. With Adam's Zai 40000 katana at his waist, Kazuma holding a Zai 30000 bow and a Zai 20000 short dagger, how could they not defeat mere beginner village monsters? By the way, Aqua was holding a Zai 5000 staff. She didn't really need it, being a divine being and all, but she threw a fit when she saw the guys with their shiny new toys. So, Adam had to cave and get her one too. What a drama queen! The staff? Nothing special. Just a pretty stick, really. But hey, it made her happy, so whatever. Zai 5000, what a pain. The trio confidently set out from the beginner village to the plains. There, they spotted 3 giant toads looming on the grassland a mere 200 meters away. Adam gripped his katana and said to the other 2, Aqua, give me a blessing enhancement. I'll go attract and contain the monster group, while Satokan uses his longbow to take them down one by one. Alright. Piece of cake, leave it to me. Then, Aqua cast a blessing enhancement spell on him, who kicked off the ground at high speed, charging straight towards the 3 giant toads. Adam's role was clear, act as bait to attract the monster's attention, creating opportunities for Kazuma to kill them. Among the 3, he had the best physical abilities, making him the most suitable choice for bait. Also, he had no plans to attack with his sword, he carried it purely as a precaution. He knew he lacked any skills, and swinging the blade would amount to nothing more than wild flailing, a surefire way to put himself in harm's way. So, he just needed to focus on running. The blessings Aqua cast were all enhancement spells for agility and endurance. Satokan, now's your chance. As he lured the monsters and drew their aggro, the 3 giant toads lined up in a row behind him, presenting the perfect opening and timing for an attack. Oh, watch this! Kazuma's eyes focused, the bowstring in his hands fully drawn and taut, then he released the arrow. Whoosh! The arrow zoomed towards the giant toad behind Adam, and then, it totally whiffed. Wait, what? It missed. Did he seriously just botch that? What are you doing, you useless Kazuma? Oops. Aqua burst into curses, while he stood dumbfounded. How could he have missed? Shouldn't he have carried the team and become the MVP? Ah, I see now. I don't know how to use a bow. Kazuma, still a level 1 adventurer, hadn't learned any archery skills yet. Naturally, he couldn't hit a target at such a long distance. Even Adam had forgotten this point. It's over. He wasn't made of iron either. Gradually losing stamina, he was swallowed whole by the giant toad that caught up to him. Adam, I'm coming to save you. Damn it, God blow. Seeing him get swallowed, Aqua immediately ran over from afar. Her hand glowing with radiant light, she punched the giant toad's belly, causing waves of flesh to ripple. She failed to penetrate the enemy's armor. Strike-type skills have no effect on them. See, come to think of it, toads are actually quite cute. A sense of déjà vu flashed before her eyes, and then Aqua was swallowed too. Carter-senpai. Aqua. As the last hope, Kazuma quickly ran over to save the world. Since the bow didn't work, he'd use the short dagger instead. Ooh. Take this. After that, he was swallowed by the remaining giant toad. 3 toads chilling, each with a snack inside. Total party wipe. It was only then, inside the giant toad's mouth, that Adam realized what the Adventurers Guild receptionist had truly meant by fully equipped. Giant toads, it turns out, have an aversion to adventurers clad in metal armor. Ah, die already! In the end, Adam wielded his high-quality katana from inside the giant toad, slashing open its chest and belly to escape. He then swiftly dispatched the other two that had swallowed Aqua and Kazuma, freeing his companions. Luckily, giant toads remain motionless during digestion. Had they been mobile, the situation would have been far more dire. 09 My explosion magic is not mine? We need to recruit companions. Adam said to Aqua and Kazuma after taking a bath, shaking the now empty milk bottle. We're too weak right now. We urgently need to increase our adventurer party members. But will anyone join us? We're all novice adventurers. I don't think anyone would choose to join us. Kazuma rubbed his smooth chin. No, they will. Adam declared with determination. We're missing Megaman and Darkness. This squad ain't complete without them. Adam was scratching his head, wondering if they'd still bump into the explosion-obsessed mage and the pain-loving knight, given that they'd started their adventure earlier than expected. But hey, fate's a funny thing, right? It's like trying to dodge a boomerang, no matter how hard you try, it always comes back around. The next day at the Adventurers Guild, the three sat at a wooden table, waiting for potential teammates to join them. Suddenly, a young girl about 13 or 14 years old approached and stood beside them, introducing herself with enthusiasm. I saw your recruitment notice. My name is Megaman, and I'm an archwizard. I command the mightiest magic of all, explosion magic. She had smooth, short black hair and a cute face, her red eyes glowing faintly. Her complexion was very pale, hinting at malnutrition. Though she wore a wizard's robe and tall hat, she also sported an eye patch for some reason. The aura around her was quite peculiar. Guess who just showed up? It's Megaman, folks. To ensure a smooth encounter with Megaman and Darkness, Adam's recruitment notice specifically mentioned advanced professions only as the entry requirement. Although two of the three party members had advanced professions, they were all novices. Experienced adventurers with advanced professions were unlikely to join, which greatly increased the chances of Megaman and Darkness, also novices, joining the party. Truth be told, Adam was ready to camp out here for weeks if needed. But hey, guess what? Lady Luck decided to play nice, and Megaman showed up way ahead of schedule. Megaman, is it? Please, have a seat. Adam pulled out a chair beside him with a delighted expression, gesturing for her to sit down quickly. Hey, Carter-senpai. Kazuma leaned close to his ear and whispered, is this really okay? There's something off about her. You can tell at a glance that this girl's not quite right in the head. Kazuma's got this weird sixth sense for spotting trouble. Is that what happens when you're super lucky? Adam was totally craving for that luck stat. Aqua examined her closely and asked, those red eyes. Are you from the Crimson Demon clan? Members of that clan are known for their peculiar names and eccentric behavior. However, they're also born with exceptional intelligence and magic power. Most have the potential to become archwizards. That's correct. Megaman nodded, handing over her adventurer card. She then slumped weakly onto the table and said, I have a small request. Before the interview, could you please treat me to a meal? I haven't eaten in 3 days. Megaman looked pitifully at the three, while her stomach also made a heartbreaking growl sound. Of course, we should eat before the interview. Adam said, handing Megaman the menu while examining her adventurer card. Whoa, check out those stats. She's only level 6 but she's packing some serious punch. No kidding. Her magic power's off the charts. If she's not bluffing about that explosion magic, we might have just hit the jackpot. Aqua and Kazuma were shouting excitedly on the side, exclaiming that they had struck gold. Aware of the truth, Adam remained silent, only saying meaningfully, we'll need to verify the specifics in practice. For now, let's enjoy our meal. After satiating their hunger and thirst, the quartet ventured to the plains beyond the novice village. A giant toad spotted the group and bounded toward them. I must state in advance, although explosion magic is the strongest magic in the explosion system, it takes a long time to prepare. Correspondingly, please hold off that giant toad before I'm ready. Megaman stood on a high point of the plain, adjusting her aura, and gave orders to them. Oh, leave it to us. The three responded. At this moment, another giant toad also discovered the group not far away. Ugh, not another one. Kazuma groaned, still grossed out from his last slimy toad encounter. Hey, Kazuma, Aqua, you guys handle that big hopper, Adam said, eyes glued to Megumin's magic prep. I wanna see if I can pull off you know what. Kazuma caught on quick. Ooh, go for it, Carter-senpai. Show us what you've got. Indeed. The moment had arrived to put Adam's analyze and copy ability to the test. He was eager to discover if he could truly replicate Megumin's formidable magic. A sword master who doesn't know explosion magic is not a good adventurer. Let's go, Aqua. Oh. Kazuma, boosted by Aqua's blessing magic, rushed to confront the approaching giant toad. Meanwhile, Megumin stood ready, her lips moving in an incantation that oozed with Chiyunobu energy. Darkness blacker than black and darker than dark, I beseech thee, combine with my deep crimson. The time of awakening cometh. Justice, fallen upon the infallible boundary, appear now as an intangible distortion. Dance, dance, dance. I desire for my torrent of power a destructive force without equal. Return all creation to cinders, and come from the abyss. This is the mightiest means of attack known to man, the ultimate attack magic. Explosion. A massive surge of magic power erupted from Megumin's body. A blinding flash descended from the sky, accompanied by dazzling light and shockwaves that shook the air. The fierce blast wind pushed Adam back more than half a meter. Boom! The explosion's smoke and dust blotted out the sky. A torrent of sand, wind, and the giant toad's shredded remains rushed towards them. Where the toad had been, only a massive crater remained, radiating unbearable heat. So powerful! Adam praised sincerely, this power was earth-shattering, but now, it's mine. Analysis start. Analysis complete. Copying start. Copying complete. Explosion magic acquired. Taking out his own adventurer card, it clearly showed that he had acquired explosion magic. Not only that, Adam also learned quick chant mana expansion, mana conservation and other very useful supplementary skills. These must be skills Megumin learned to enhance her magic. Nevertheless, these skills were now at his disposal. Carter-senpai. I could use a hand here. Kazuma yelled, sprinting across the plain with the giant toad hot on his heels. It was like watching a game of tag gone horribly wrong, if it was a massive, slimy amphibian with a taste for adventurers. Kazuma. Step on it, buddy. I'm about to bring the heat. Megumin, who had just released explosion magic, was lying on the ground unable to get up. Now it was up to Adam to save him. Immediately, he picked up her staff and began to chant the spell. Darkness blacker than black and darker than dark, I beseech thee, combine with my deep crimson. The time of awakening cometh. Justice, fallen upon the infallible boundary, appear now as an intangible distortion. Dance, dance, dance. I desire for my torrent of power a destructive force without equal. Return all creation to cinders, and come from the abyss. This is the mightiest means of attack known to man, the ultimate attack magic. Explosion. A flash of light descended from the sky, and a huge explosion once again echoed across the entire plain. The giant toad chasing Kazuma was blasted to smithereens. This is, my explosion magic. No, it's my explosion magic. 10 Megumin enlists. Still at the Adventurers Guild. Come on, no way. How can an archwizard not know regular magic and only know explosion magic? I'm not joking. I really only know explosion magic. For real. Totally. You're not pulling my leg, are you? Cross my heart. Kazuma side-eyed Megumin and whispered to Adam, Carter-senpai, we can't let her join our squad. What's the big deal? Adam chuckled, clearly amused. Come on, man. Only knowing explosion magic? That's like, totally lame. She's just dead weight, another headache like Aqua. We've already got one pain in the neck, we don't need another. He added with a sly grin, plus, you've already snagged her magic on the down low, so she's basically useless now. Let's ditch her. Kazuma was really living up to his rep as the king of sneaky moves, a real piece of work. But Adam wasn't about to let him get away with it. Sato-kun, Megumin's knowledge of explosion magic makes her an incredibly rare talent. Adam looked at Megumin with a serious expression. Besides, knowing only one type of magic doesn't disqualify someone from being an adventurer. But in a dungeon, Megumin would be useless with just explosion magic. After casting it once, wouldn't she become a burden? Kazuma argued vehemently, determined to keep her out of the party. Then we'll simply avoid dungeon quests, or handle them ourselves. Isn't that straightforward? Adam tried to placate him and win him over. You've witnessed the power of her magic, haven't you? Can't you appreciate its sheer destructive force? If you put it that way, it is true. Kazuma shuddered as he recalled Megumin's explosion magic. Its power was so terrifying that it left a deep impression on him. See? There's nothing explosion magic can't solve. If one blast doesn't do it, use another. Adam patted his shoulder and said earnestly, I'm not all-powerful either. You know the saying, 2 fists can't fight 4 hands, right? Don't focus on the present, look to the future, Sato-kun. In the end, Kazuma reluctantly agreed to let her join the party. Megumin, we've decided to welcome you into our party. Adam said with a smile, we'd love to have a genius like you join us. Really? Megumin couldn't believe a party would actually accept her. You see, when previous party members discovered she only knew explosion magic, they immediately declared her unsuitable as an adventurer and kicked her out. How could she have imagined that now a party would praise her as a genius and eagerly invite her to join? Of course, joining us comes with conditions. What conditions? Your magic. No. I won't learn other magic. Megumin interrupted Adam before he could finish, her voice firm and unyielding. Previous parties had raised this issue too, but she had refused them all, which resulted in no adventurer party wanting her. If you learned other magic, wouldn't adventuring become easier? Kazuma tried to persuade her. I refuse. Megumin gently stroked her staff, then with a focused gaze, declared, I only love explosion magic. I only know explosion magic. Explosion magic is my everything. It was clear that nothing could shake her determination. That's amazing! Aqua exclaimed, moved by Megumin's resolve. No, you misunderstand. Adam tapped the table lightly, I'm not asking you to give up explosion magic. On the contrary, I want you to maximize its damage potential. Megumin's eyes widened, To be frank, our party has a mission. A mission? Yes, a mission to defeat the Demon King. The Demon King? Megumin's face flushed with excitement, her eyes gleaming, are you serious? Carter-senpai, it's not wise to tell her this. Kazuma tugged at Adam's sleeve, trying to stop him. But his intervention only confirmed his words. It's fine, we're comrades now. Besides, explosion magic is the ultimate weapon against the Demon King. It's the strongest human magic capable of defeating him. Among thousands of spells, explosion reigns supreme. The power of explosion magic is undeniable. Using it as our primary means to defeat the Demon King is not just reasonable, it's essential. In certain situations, Megumin's magic even takes precedence over Aqua's weakening magic. Bottom line, Megumin, we need you. We need your explosion magic. Adam extended his right hand to her, so, will you join us? I'd be delighted. Megumin exclaimed, gripping his hand tightly, I promise to give my all for the party, unleashing the strongest and most magnificent explosion magic. Megumin's imagination soared, picturing the moment she'd confront the Demon King. In that glorious instant, her lifelong dream would be realized, and someone would undoubtedly declare, this is the most awe-inspiring explosion magic I've ever witnessed. It's like, the coolest thing ever. She was absolutely thrilled. Welcome to the champion party, little loli. Kazuma teased, resigned to the outcome. Hey! I have a name, it's Megumin. Don't call me little loli, you pervert. Kazuma. Drop the pervert title first, then we'll talk, Koi. Megumin had just joined but was already bantering with Kazuma, quickly integrating into the party. Adam handed the menu to Aqua, saying, well then, let's recruit more members. We're recruiting more members? Aqua asked as she swiftly ordered several delicacies. The party's composition isn't complete yet. We need other members to join. Adam explained, passing the menu to Megumin and Kazuma for their orders. Hopefully, the next teammate won't be a problem child like little loli. Kazuma quipped. It's Megumin. And I'm not a problem child. Megumin retorted. She scanned the menu, pointing at a slightly expensive set meal. Can I order this? Of course. Adam replied, handing the menu to the waitress. Please give this great archwizard a children's set meal. Certainly, I understand. The sweet and cheerful waitress responded with a smile as she took the menu. Just as everyone was chatting while waiting for their food to arrive, a cool female voice spoke from behind them. Excuse me, are you recruiting party members? Oh? Who could this be? Yes, that's right. The speaker was a female knight, an incredibly beautiful young woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. Her entire body was encased in pure white armor, obscuring her figure, yet she exuded a distinctly feminine charm. She was the epitome of an ice beauty. Adam couldn't help but stare, his jaw practically on the floor. His brain was doing somersaults as he thought, hold up, who are you? No way my darkness could be this drop-dead gorgeous. But then... Oh, it's our first meeting. My bad, I got ahead of myself there. 11 That's even better. Please let me join your party. The lady knight strutted up to Adam, getting all up in his face. She was breathing heavy and her cheeks were a bit pink. Now that's the darkness I know and love. Hold up, something's fishy here. She's shown up way earlier than he thought she would, and Adam and the gang aren't even covered in slime. They took out those two big toads with just one explosion spell each from him and Megaman, and didn't even get swallowed. Ah well, let's just roll with it and get her to join. We can figure out the rest later. Lady Knight, please have a seat. Adam patted the wooden bench to his right. We're about to have a meal. Why don't you join us? We can discuss details after eating. Darkness obliged, sitting down to his right with a fresh scent about her. Aqua was on his left. After the meal, Adam initiated the conversation. Lady Knight. Darkness, my name is Darkness. All right, Darkness, why do you want to join our party? We're all novice adventurers, you know. That's fine, I'm a novice adventurer too. But your equipment is of high quality, and you seem to be fully geared, Kazuma chimed in, puzzled. Though he was pleased about a beautiful woman joining, he couldn't let his guard down. As an adventurer, caution comes first had always been his primary rule. Slimy. Darkness mumbled under her breath. Hey? What was that? Kazuma, sitting diagonally across from her, couldn't quite catch what she said. Her voice was too soft, and he was too far away to hear clearly. Well, let's take a moment to calm down, Lady Knight Darkness. He then leaned on the table with both hands, his expression turning serious. If you're considering joining this party, I urge you to think it through carefully. Oh, please choose me. I beg you, let me join your party. Darkness exclaimed, her excitement building as her voice rose in pitch. Kazuma said with a slightly bitter expression, well, actually our party has a lot of issues. It's not suitable for you to join. Why? I'm a crusader, an advanced class of knight. Shouldn't I meet your recruitment criteria? But everyone in our party except for Carter-senpai is a weirdo. Kazuma said while pointing at Aqua and Megaman with a look of disdain, we've got this archpriest who's about as useful as a chocolate teapot, and an archwizard who's a one-hit wonder with her magic. Then, jabbing a thumb at his chest, he added, and yours truly? I'm stuck with the lamest job ever adventurer. Basically, I'm as useful as a screen door on a submarine. At first, Aqua and Megaman were all fired up to give Kazuma a piece of their mind for trash-talking them. But when he started roasting himself too, they just kinda shrugged and chilled out. Sure, it was all true, but man, spilling the tea like that in front of a stranger? It's a no-no. That's even better. To be honest, I'm confident in my arm strength and endurance, but I lack agility and can't hit enemies at all. Darkness, as if she had found a kindred spirit, tightly gripped his hand, causing a bone-chilling grinding sound. Ow, ow. Kazuma yelped, shaking his hand, easy there. You're gonna crush my bones. Ah, sorry. Darkness released his hand, you needn't worry about me at all. I'll charge in recklessly, just use me as a shield. No, 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 we can't use a girl as a shield, no matter what. Our party is very weak, all the attacks will fall on you. That's even better. No, 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 our party is weaker than you can imagine. Earlier, we were covered in foul-smelling slime from giant toads. You might end up in the same state. That's even better. Darkness's face turned bright red as she hugged herself, wiggling like a fish out of water and breathing all heavy. She was totally fangirling. Hey? Okay, this girl's got some issues. And I don't mean the good kind. Whoa. Darkness. Great, another weirdo. By now, even Aqua and Megaman were giving her the side eye, not just Kazuma. Dang, Darkness! You're giving teenage boys a run for their money in the creepy department. Ahem. Kazuma cleared his throat, snapping back to reality. He leaned in, his voice dropping to a serious tone. Look, I'll level with you. We're not your run-of-the-mill newbies. Appearances aside, we're actually on a quest to take down the Demon King. He thought dropping the Demon King bomb would scare Darkness off, but boy, was he in for a surprise. But he couldn't have been more wrong. Far from being scared off, Darkness grew even more excited, rivaling Megaman's initial enthusiasm. That's even better. Throughout history, being harassed by the Demon King has been every female knight's dream job. This alone makes it worth joining. What? Hey? Did I say something weird? Kazuma and Darkness just stared at each other, looking totally lost. Hahaha. At this moment, a clear, cheerful, and energetic laugh came from the side. Darkness, you've scared them. You are. The laughter came from a girl wearing light leather armor. She had short silver hair and a small scar on her cheek, instantly marking her as a thief. Everything about her, from her clothes and appearance to her very demeanor, screamed thief, as if she'd stepped right out of a storybook. Sorry. The silver-haired thief apologized, her voice brimming with energy. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I was just worried about my friend, so I couldn't help but listen in. Friend? Oh. Your friend is Darkness. You nailed it. The thief girl leaned on Darkness, showcasing their close friendship. Darkness then introduced her to everyone. Let me introduce you. This is my friend Chris, and she's a thief. Hello. Chris greeted everyone, and they introduced themselves in turn. Hey there, I'm Kazuma Sato. Just your average Joe with the job adventurer. Megaman here. I blow stuff up for a living. I'm an arch-wizard. I'm Aqua. I'm the water. Just an arch-priest. Adam Carter's the name. I'm an sword master. After everyone's introductions, Chris's eyes lit up. Wow, your party's got some serious firepower. Almost everyone's rocking an advanced class. So, wouldn't it make sense to add another advanced class? Especially one that can act as a vanguard crusader. She was clearly trying her best to promote her friend. Hearing this, Kazuma leaned close to Adam's ear and whispered, Carter-senpai, you've seen her issues, right? We can't add another problem child to the party, even if she is an advanced class crusader. His intention was clear, he wanted Adam, the acting party leader, to reject Darkness's request to join. Kazuma, while she may have some shortcomings as a novice crusader, our party does need a vanguard role, doesn't it? Why don't we test her abilities first, then make a decision? How's that sound? If Carter-senpai says so. Adam held considerable sway in the party, so Kazuma had to comply. However, he thought to himself, no matter how she performs, I'm gonna reject her joining. Time's a wastin'. Let's go test Darkness's skills now. At Adam's command, the 6 of them dashed out in a flurry. 12 The Problem Child Squad welcomes a new member. Huff ha, huff ha, huff ha. Darkness was breathing so hard it was unreal. Her panting got wilder and wilder, making Kazuma squirm and clench up. Poor guy couldn't even stand up straight. Our innocent otaku boy was way out of his depth here. Darkness, it's just a wild boar. How long do you intend to keep fighting it? Adam, at his wit's end, loudly urged her to finish off the boar quickly. Yes, a wild boar, not a giant toad. They weren't subjugating giant toads because Adam worried Darkness might get carried away playing with the slime. Instead, he chose the lowest level quest, drive away wild boars ravaging farmlands. The quest was straightforward, simply drive away the wild boars destroying the fields. This was the Adventurers Guild's lowest level quest, typically undertaken by solo novice adventurers. The meager reward made it an inefficient choice for a party of Adam's caliber to pursue. But hey, this quest was perfect for seeing how Darkness would fit into their squad. Just one tiny problem though, her performance were kinda. This wild boar is quite persistent. I underestimated you. Darkness wore an excited expression, as if she'd met a worthy opponent. She lavishly praised it. I acknowledge you, wild boar. Be proud. You're on par with me, Darkness, a crusader of the advanced class knights. Yo, what's with the Chiyunibu act? Just take it down already. Are you seriously treating a measly wild boar like your arch-nemesis? Kazuma couldn't help but roll his eyes, roasting her without holding back. Turns out, his gut feeling was spot on. This chick was a total dud, inside and out. Adam was left scratching his head too. He never saw this level of incompetence coming from Darkness. I mean, come on. Even Aqua, of all people, could use her god blow to knock it out into next week. Not to mention Megaman's overkill explosion magic or Adam's own skills. But here's Darkness, struggling against a wild boar that only knows how to charge forward like a brainless battering ram. She's been stuck in this ridiculous dance for ages. In the end, though, Darkness somehow managed to scrape by with a win. Relying on her seemingly inexhaustible stamina, Darkness wore the wild boar down to exhaustion before finally plunging her sword into its neck. Incredibly, it took 5 hours to complete this lowest level quest. Is Darkness really an advanced class? Kazuma squinted at her adventurer card. Yep, she's a crusader all right. The stats are incredible. As expected of an advanced class, her total stats nearly match mine. Being advanced classes themselves, Aqua and Megaman grasped just how impressive Darkness's stats were. But come on, she doesn't look all that special. Her skills are even more half-baked than Aqua's, if you ask me. Even. Aqua's jaw dropped, then she started throwing a fit to let off some steam. Ignoring her loud complaints, Kazuma had a sudden realization. Wait a sec, how do you actually learn skills? Now at level 5 with 5 skill points under his belt, he figured it was high time to pick up some useful abilities. Let me explain, Chris interjected at the opportune moment. As an adventurer, learning skills is simple. You just need someone to demonstrate it once. The skill then appears on your adventurer card, and you can spend points to acquire it. I see. Kazuma nodded, so if Aqua and Megaman teach me, I could potentially use healing magic and explosion magic too. Precisely. Chris affirmed with an expression that screamed this student's got potential. Kazuma, Kazuma. Megaman burst out, barely containing her excitement. Want to learn explosion magic? Sure, it costs a ridiculous number of points, but is there any skill more worthy? It must be explosion magic. Come, let's tread the path of explosions together. Whoa, settle down, little loli. Kazuma pushed her away, clearly irritated. I'm only level 5 with a measly 5 skill points. How on earth could I possibly learn that? Megaman whimpered, falling silent. Hey Aqua, time to shine. Show me what ya got. Hey. C'mon, spill the beans. What cool tricks you got up your sleeve? He nudged Aqua. You've gotta have a ton of nifty skills, right? I mean, you're kinda a big deal and all. What's that supposed to mean? Aqua scratched her head, then shrugged. Alright, if you're so eager, I guess I can show you a thing or two. Sweet. Let's see the goods. Then, Aqua busted out some party tricks, like making water shoot out of her head. Seriously? That's what you're teaching me? You're such a useless archpriest. Kazuma groaned, rolling his eyes. He turned to Adam, looking like a kid begging for candy. Hey, Carter-senpai. Adam cleared his throat, sounding kinda awkward. What's up? You're a sword master, right? You've gotta have some cool moves up your sleeve. Mind showing me some easy-to-learn stuff? Well, Sato-kun. Adam coughed again. You remember my talent, yet? Oh, you mean that analyze and copy thing? Bingo. Since I can pick up any skill, I didn't really bother with sword master tricks. So, what did you do with your skill points? Dumped them all into mana expansion. Dude, seriously. Learn some actual sword skills. What kind of sword master doesn't know any sword moves? You're killing me here. Kazuma couldn't believe it. Even the supposedly reliable party leader was turning out to be a total letdown. My bad. Adam mumbled, looking pretty embarrassed himself. To be fair, this wasn't entirely Adam's fault. With his analyze and copy ability, learning sword master skills would have been a waste of skill points. Instead, increasing his mana was far more appealing. After all, the amount of magic one can cast depends on their mana pool. Not to mention, the power of explosion magic is directly proportional to its size. Hahaha. Chris was laughing so hard she could barely breathe, thoroughly enjoying the spectacle. Your party is just too funny. Great, now they were being laughed at. Kazuma wanted to sink into the ground. Well then, would you like to learn my skills? Chris suggested. Your skills? My class has skills that are both practical and cheap in terms of points. For instance, skills that only cost 1 or 2 points to learn. Ooh. Now we're talking. Kazuma's eyes gleamed with newfound hope. Please, teach me. Oh my, what should I do? Chris flashed a mischievous smile, twirling a strand of silver hair around her finger. She leaned in, her voice taking on a suggestive tone. You know, I'm quite worried about darkness. She's my only friend. Ah, if only there was a familiar party that could take her in. Kazuma's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. He jumped to his feet, nearly tripping over himself, and did this goofy bow that made him look like he was proposing or something. With his best puppy dog eyes, he blurted out, Lady Chris. Pretty please with a cherry on top, let Lady Darkness join our party? I beg you. For the sake of learning skills, he willingly swallowed his pride. In the end, Darkness joined the party, and Kazuma successfully acquired some new abilities. A win-win situation, one might say worthy of celebration. 13-5 people ready to kick some butt. 2 days after Darkness joined the party, everyone gathered at the Adventurers Guild. Let's go accept a quest. Adam suggested. Kazuma agreed. Yet, now that we've finished recruiting party members, it's time to start adventuring. Aren't we going to recruit any more companions? Aqua asked, looking confused. Kazuma shrugged. There are already too many problem children in the party. What if we get another one? Hey, who's a problem child? Yeah, not cool. Megaman chimed in. Darkness mumbled, looking oddly pleased. The girls bristled, refusing to admit they were anything less than perfect party members. You're all party members, stop arguing. Adam clapped his hands to get everyone's attention. This is our party's first collaboration. We'll focus on team building and won't take on difficult tasks, okay? Agreed. The others chorused. Adam went straight to the quest board, took a request form to the guild counter to register, and said, Our party will take this quest. Purify the polluted lake, is it? Yes. All right, please allow me to register it. The receptionist filled out a simple form. Adam returned to the party and handed the request form to everyone to review. Purify the polluted lake. Kazuma examined the request form, then turned to Adam with a puzzled expression. Do we have anyone in our party capable of purifying water sources? Wait, did this guy seriously forget? Bam! Aqua smacked him on the head. Hello? It's me, dummy. I'm the water goddess, remember? Goddess. A goddess is. The title of goddess caught Megaman and Darkness's attention. Oh, that's just Aqua being Aqua. Kazuma said with a grin, totally pulling one over on the other two. Ah, gotcha. Ah, poor Aqua and her wild imagination. Aqua was fuming, but thanks to Adam's earlier don't spill the beans about being a goddess rule, she couldn't call Kazuma out on his BS. Well, that's the situation, Adam resumed the conversation. Aqua possesses the ability to purify water sources, which is why I accepted this request. Humph, leave it to me. Aqua puffed out her chest. Now, let me briefly assign our roles. He pointed at each member, outlining their responsibilities. Aqua will focus on purifying the water source. Darkness and I will lure the monsters in the lake. Megaman will stay by Aqua's side and use explosion magic to intimidate the monsters if necessary. Kazuma will roam and provide support wherever needed. Is everyone clear on their tasks? Understood. X4. He set up the team like it was a video game. You know, those online games where everyone's got a job to do? Yeah, that kind of thing. So here's the deal, Darkness is our tough girl up front, Megaman's our magic powerhouse, Aqua's on healing duty, Kazuma's running all over helping out, and Adam's the all-rounder. Pretty sweet setup, right? He wished he knew more about these strategy games, but he was more into shooting stuff, a world champion by that. Too bad there's no guns here, hey? But hey, this team's got all bases covered. 5 people, ready to kick some butt. Let's get this show on the road. Aqua, Megaman, and Darkness were up front, bouncing around like kids on a sugar rush. They totally didn't have that whole careful adventurer vibe going on, more like they were headed to a fun day at the park. Meanwhile, Adam and Kazuma were bringing up the rear, playing it cool but keeping their eyes peeled for any forest shenanigans that might pop up. Carter-senpai, why did you choose this quest? Kazuma asked, aren't there better options for team building? You're right, other quests might be more suitable for improving coordination. Adam admitted. The Dullahan hadn't reached the beginner's village yet, and the Adventurers Guild still offered plenty of quests. If team coordination was their primary goal, they could have chosen differently. After a moment's reflection, he explained. There are 3 reasons. First, I genuinely want to improve our teamwork. Second, this quest offers a higher reward, which suits our 5-person party. Lastly, I want to gauge our party's limits. Limits? Kazuma understood the first 2 reasons, but the last one puzzled him. Kazuma-kun, you haven't forgotten our ultimate mission, have you? Adam's reminder sparked recognition. Defeating the Demon King. Right, that's why we're here. Exactly. To accomplish that, our party needs to quickly evolve into a specialized assault team capable of challenging the Demon King. Got it. Kazuma grinned, giving a thumbs up. Carter-senpai, you're the real deal, even if you can be a total klutz sometimes. Hey, watch it, or I'll give you a nuji. Whoa, my bad, my bad. Kazuma quickly apologized, and Adam chuckled, shaking his head. After several hours of trekking, the group finally reached the polluted lake, their legs a bit wobbly from the journey. Aqua, purify the lake. Adam instructed. He then turned to the others, everyone else, follow the plan we discussed. Understood. X4. Aqua knelt at the lake's edge and dipped both hands into the water. As the goddess of water, her mere touch naturally purified polluted water. However, this ability was a double-edged sword. Being a goddess meant she also purified alcoholic beverages, tea, juice, and other drinks into tasteless water. Consequently, no matter what Aqua drank, it always became flavorless water. Hey Aqua, how long's this lake cleanup gonna take? Adam asked, scratching his head. Ugh, for a lake this big? We're talking most of the day. Aqua sighed. Seriously? That's forever. Kazuma groaned, throwing his hands up, and you're supposed to be some hotshot water expert? Lame. Excuse me. Aqua snapped back, her face turning red, I'd like to see you do better, smarty pants. This is lightning fast for a whole freaking lake. Kazuma opened his mouth to argue, but then shut it quick. The whole put up or shut up thing totally worked on him. He just crossed his arms and mumbled something under his breath. As time crawled by, the sun climbed higher in the sky, and the heat intensified. 2 hours later, Adam's enemy detection stole from darkness suddenly activated, prompting him to alert the group. Heads up, everyone. We've got alligators. He called out, unsheathing his katana. Turning to Darkness, he continued, Darkness, I need you with me. We'll lure the alligators together. Once we've gathered a bunch, then. No need. I said, no need. I can handle it alone, it's my duty as a crusader. Darkness declared resolutely. Her statement would have been impressive if her face wasn't flushed with perverse excitement. I'm going in. Hey, Darkness! She charged ahead, disrupting Adam's strategy and scattering the party's formation. I have no choice but to join in. Adam gritted his teeth and lured some alligators in the opposite direction from Darkness to ease her burden. Kazuma-kun. Right. Kazuma, who had been waiting on the sidelines, sprang into action. He drew his longbow and took aim at the alligators pursuing Adam. Snipe! 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 Gone were the days when Kazuma fumbled with a bow and arrow. Having mastered the snipe skill, he had transformed into a formidable archer. Snipe! After firing numerous arrows, Kazuma finally took down all the alligators pursuing Adam. Now, only the reptiles surrounding Darkness remained. Darkness! Kazuma yelled. He spun around to check on her and holy cow, it was a full-on gator fiesta. She was knee-deep in scaly chompers, yelping every so often. But wait a section. Kazuma squinted, listened closer, and his face twisted in disgust. She's actually enjoying this. Figures. It's not just her skills that are hopeless, her whole personality is a lost cause. There was Darkness, living her best life in Gator Town. I really don't want to save her. Despite his reluctance, Kazuma readied his bow and methodically eliminated the alligators surrounding her. 8 grueling hours later, the quest finally reached its conclusion. 14 Change, Darkness. Change, Darkness. After submitting the commission and receiving the reward, Adam turned to Darkness. You need to change. No. She displayed a look of complete refusal, mirroring Megumin's attitude, both adamantly opposed to any alterations in their combat styles. Hear me out, Darkness. Adam placed his hands on her shoulders, gazing directly into her eyes until she shyly lowered her head. I'm not asking you to learn attack skills or change your offensive methods. I want you to fully embrace the path of defense. What? Darkness stared at him, stunned. You understand, don't you? Our team's ultimate goal is to defeat the Demon King. We're composed of members with specialized attack abilities focused on this task. I hope you can upgrade your skills too, to better complement our team. Actually, speaking of special attack types, there's no one else besides Megumin. Aqua, being a goddess, has already reached her growth limit. Kazuma, with his lackluster adventurer class, wouldn't benefit much from a change in his combat style. Adam, however, with his cheating skills, is naturally versatile. So, time to change, Darkness. So what should I do? Ditch that long sword and grab a shield instead? No way. Darkness shook her head, dead serious. A knight never parts with their trusty blade. Oh really? Adam's lips curled into a sly grin. Even if that blade couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Ugh, well. Darkness squirmed, her cheeks flushing at the embarrassing truth. I'm not asking you to completely give up the longsword, Adam persuaded her. Just add a shield to your arsenal. Hey. Darkness looked puzzled. The cross-kite shield is a half-body shield that can hold a longsword on its inner side. Adam produced the blueprints he'd prepared earlier, explaining his idea to Darkness. What do you think? Doesn't it suit you perfectly? The cross-kite shield, famously wielded by Heathcliff in Sword Art Online, is a half-body shield large enough to conceal a longsword on its inner side and provide cover for its user. Unlike its in-game counterpart, the real-world version is extremely heavy, so much so that ordinary knights struggle to lift it. Darkness, however, is no ordinary knight. With her exceptional arm strength and stamina, she can wield this massive shield single-handedly, allowing her to endure lengthy battles. Darkness scratched her head, mulling it over. Come on, think about it. With a shield, you'll be able to take even more hits. That would bring you quite a bit of pleasure. Adam further enticed her, whispering in her ear, don't worry, I'll train you well, until I shape you into the correct form, I want. Teach me? Oh my. Darkness blushed, fidgeting. Well, if Adam insists. Despite her half-hearted protest, her body honestly agreed. Hehe, a wise choice. You can't escape, Darkness. You are, our team's knight. Speaking softly in her ear, his warm breath made Darkness's face and fair neck turn crimson. She lowered her head shyly, her vivid imagination adding the words in parentheses to his speech. Aqua, why don't we use this reward to forge a shield for Darkness? Adam suggested, glancing at the money bag in his hand. He made a mental note to repay the funds later. After all, we're asking her to change for our team's benefit. It's only fair we provide the weapons and armor. The reward for the Purify the Polluted Lake quest was Xi 300000. Since Aqua had contributed the most, they needed her approval to spend the money on a shield for Darkness. Of course, if Adam thinks it's best. She replied, her trust in him apparent as she agreed without hesitation. Whoa, hold up. Is this really our Aqua? The same one who's usually all me? Someone pinch me, I must be dreaming. Thanks. Adam mumbled, caught off guard by her sudden burst of team spirit. But Kazuma wasn't buying it. He squinted at Aqua suspiciously and blurted out, okay, who are you and what have you done with the real Aqua? Hey! I can be a team player too, you know. She shot back, puffing out her cheeks. Yeah, right. And I'm the Demon King. Kazuma scoffed. Ugh, you're such a jerk. And just like that, the two problematic kids were at it again, bickering and roughhousing like a pair of squabbling siblings. By the way, she did acknowledge the title of goddess. I won't comment, since I wasn't of any use this time. Megumin nodded and stated her position. Alright then, let's not waste any time. Off to the blacksmith to forge Darkness's shield. Adam guided the group to the blacksmith's workshop, where he presented the blueprints and detailed the specifications. After examining the plans, the blacksmith nodded confidently. I understand. The shield will be ready for pickup in a week. Much appreciated. Adam replied gratefully. With the deposit paid, the group went their separate ways. Evening fell. In a secluded corner of the stable, Aqua, Kazuma, and Adam huddled together. Aqua, I need to tell Kazuma about my other ability. Adam said, his tone serious, we're together day and night, it's impossible to keep it hidden. I hope you understand. Tell that Kazuma guy. Aqua rolled her eyes but shrugged. Whatever, if Adam says so, spill the beans. Whoa, hold up. What's with the VIP treatment for Carter-senpai? And what's this hush-hush ability you're yakking about? Kazuma griped, feeling like the odd man out. Don't be angry. I'll explain everything now. Adam said, his tone reassuring. He then recounted his extraordinary tale to Kazuma, detailing how Aqua had mistakenly summoned him and the two extraordinary abilities he'd acquired as a result. Hold up. You're telling me Carter-senpai can hop between worlds? Kazuma's jaw dropped, that's insane. Why don't I get a cheat like that? Meanwhile, this goddess over here is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Hey, you pervy neat. Look who's talking. She snapped back. Before Adam could blink, Aqua was all over Kazuma, bawling her eyes out and trying to put him in a headlock. Well, that's the situation, Adam said, motioning for her to keep her voice down. He continued, from now on, I might vanish occasionally. To avoid arousing suspicion from Megaman and Darkness, I'd appreciate if you could cover for me sometimes. Would that be all right? Adam knew his ability to travel between worlds couldn't remain a secret forever. While he could keep it from Megaman and Darkness for now, how long could he possibly hide it from Kazuma? Sure, Kazuma was a bit of a troublemaker with a naughty streak, but the guy wasn't dumb. He had a knack for sniffing out secrets. It wouldn't take long for him to catch on that something was up. Given the inevitability of exposure, Adam decided to be proactive in telling him. One more thing. He added, I need you to keep an eye on Aqua. You know how she is, she might let it slip without thinking. Yeah, Aqua's got a mouth like a leaky faucet. Kazuma nodded, don't sweat it, I'll keep tabs on our resident blabbermouth. I'm counting on you. Adam said with a satisfied smile. Another reason he confided in Kazuma was that his world-traveling ability had now become active. Indeed, Adam could now traverse between worlds. His skill had already detected the coordinates of other realms. 15 New World Demon Slayer. Aqua, I'm counting on you. Leave it to me. Aqua exclaimed. She then cast enhancement blessing magics on Adam, blessing. Attribute increase blessing. Luck increase blessing. Art increase. Hey, what's the deal with the art increase? Kazuma asked, raising an eyebrow at Aqua's choice of blessing. He was pretty sure her brain was on vacation. Aqua, however, looked at him with disdain and replied matter-of-factly, stupid Kazuma. Adam's venturing into another world, of course I'm going to bestow every blessing I can muster. Kazuma had to admit, her logic was annoyingly spot on this time. Oh, come on. He groaned, how come you're all goddess-like with Carter-senpai, but with me, you're just, well, you. He couldn't hide his frustration. Aqua's response? A cold humph. And the silent treatment. Classic Aqua move. Alright, listen up. Adam said, clapping his hands to get their attention. Next, follow the quest I previously assigned. Aqua, you'll be the core. Complete the Purify Cemetery quest, then move on to other tasks. He laid out several instructions for the team. Remember, never take on quests beyond your skill level. Understood. They chorused. Kazuma's self-awareness when it came to quests didn't worry Adam. Aqua's recklessness, however, gave him pause. Well then, I'm off. Have a safe journey. Be careful. X2. Adam closed his eyes and focused on the anchor point in his mind. A sensation of being pulled and tugged enveloped him, and in the blink of an eye, he vanished from sight. Whoa, he just vanished into thin air. Kazuma's jaw dropped. Why are you so surprised? It's perfectly normal for Adam to vanish like that. He's crossing between worlds, after all. Hey, when you put it that way. Anyway, I'm beat. Let's crash. Kazuma bonked himself on the head, then flopped down on the grass mat. Aqua followed suit, ready to catch some zs. This is a forest. When Adam opened his eyes, he found himself on a narrow path leading into a dense forest. The evening light mirrored that of the parallel world he'd just left. Towering trees surrounded him, their shadows obscuring the moonlight and enveloping him in an eerie, cold silence. The atmosphere was unsettling, to say the least. Occasional screams echoing from the depths of the forest made Adam even more uneasy. Yet, rather than succumbing to fear, he calmly assessed his skills. I see. After crossing over, I can return at any time, and crossing again will bring me back to the point before I returned. This channel is quite convenient. The ability to leave this world at will gave him a surge of confidence. What was there to fear? If danger arose, he could simply escape back to the parallel world. Without hesitation, Adam squared his shoulders and strode purposefully into the forest's depths. The echoes of screams still lingered in his ears, and as he faced the wind, a faint scent of blood wafted towards him. Something ominous lurked in the heart of the woods. Determined, Adam broke into a swift run, following the narrow path that led deeper into the mountain. Hold on, who's that? Adam muttered, spotting an unexpected figure ahead. Halfway through his run, he noticed someone curled up under a tree. The figure's head was lowered, quietly sobbing and mumbling phrases like "they actually abandoned me" and "so disloyal." Adam confirmed two things: the figure was male, and he was speaking Japanese. This seemed to be a normal world after all. Approaching cautiously, Adam asked, "Young man, what are you doing here?" "Ah! Stay away, stay away!" The young man shrieked in terror, dissolving into tears. Whoa! Adam jumped, startled by the outburst. "Hey, easy there. I'm human, I promise." He quickly tried to calm the youth, worried about his mental state. "Hey? Human?" The young man's sobs subsided as he peered at Adam. "You really are? And in such odd clothes, too." The youth wore a striking yellow checkered cloak over a black outfit, with a white sheathed sword at his waist. His golden bowl-cut hair framed timid eyes still glistening with tears, giving him an air of vulnerability. "You're Zenitsuo Agatsuma." His outfit and appearance were unmistakable. "You know me?" Zenitsuo pointed at himself, bewildered. "Who are you? Why don't I know you?" "Ah, it's natural you wouldn't know me. I heard about you from the Thunder Pillar, Jigoro Kawahima. You're his disciple, aren't you?" Adam said with a smile. "From Gramps? I see." Zenitsu nodded, accepting the explanation. In truth, Adam was deceiving him. He knew nothing of Jigoro Kawahima, and his knowledge of Zenitsu came from watching an anime that featured him as a main character in his previous life. Demon Slayer. Early stage, Comedy Slayer. Middle stage, Demon Slayer. Late stage, Pillar Slayer. Ending, Annihilation Slayer. This anime had caused a sensation in his previous life. Even otaku who hadn't watched it would know of its existence. It was a phenomenal masterpiece. He never expected to cross over into the world of Demon Slayer. Though the Demon Slayer world wasn't particularly deep, its power ceiling was remarkably high. Take, for instance, the superhuman Yoriichi Tsujikuni, who could slash 1,500 times in a second, or the formidable Musen Kibutsuji, who could only be killed by sunlight. The complex relationships between demons with tragic pasts and humans add depth to the story. Adam's gaze toward the yellow crybaby intensified, causing Zenitsu to step back nervously. However, Adam's interest wasn't personal. He had just realized that Zenitsu knew the thunder-breathing technique. He was determined to analyze and copy it, even if it was only the thunderclap and flash move. After all, as the saying goes, focus on one point, reach the pinnacle. Zenitsu mumbled, uncomfortable with the scrutiny. "Ah, my name is Adam Carter." Adam introduced himself with a friendly smile, breaking the tension. Despite his Western name potentially causing confusion, he wasn't concerned. The West existed in this world too, after all. "Carter-senpai, are you also a Demon Slayer Corps swordsman?" Zenitsu asked, noticing the long sword at Adam's waist. Adam shook his head. "No, I'm not part of the Demon Slayer Corps." "Oh, I see." Zenitsu realized that while Adam carried a sword, his attire wasn't the Corps' uniform. "Carter-senpai, your clothes are quite unusual." Immediately regretting his words, Zenitsu hastily apologized. "I'm sorry, Carter-senpai. I didn't mean to offend you. Don't worry, I'm not offended. You're right, though these clothes are rather strange here. Adam laughed good-naturedly. The contrast between fantasy-style attire and modern casual wear was indeed striking. By the way, Zenitsu, where are we? Adam asked, curious about their location and how they'd encountered each other. This is Mount Nadagumo. Mount Nadagumo. He realized with a start that they were about to face demons. 16 Mount Nadagumo and Zenitsu Agatsuma. Mount Nadagumo. Adam cried out in surprise. Mount Nadagumo was a pivotal setting in the original Demon Slayer story, marking the transition from its early stages to the Hashira-centric narrative. It was here that the main characters encountered one of the 12 Kizuki lower 5, the spider demon Rui. Despite being among the lower ranks of the 12 Kizuki, Rui was still favored by Muzan Kibutsuji. His rapid ascent to this position merely a decade after becoming a demon spoke volumes about his talent. This prowess led Muzan, notorious for his mistreatment of subordinates, to grant Rui the privilege of establishing his own family on Mount Nadagumo. Rui's strength was formidable far beyond Adam's current capabilities. Even with his newly acquired explosion magic from Megaman, he remained ill-equipped to face demons that could only be vanquished by sunlight or Nichiren swords. This world was proving to be quite inhospitable to him. However, Adam wouldn't back down easily, he came prepared. Even though Aqua's a total goofball of a goddess, her blessing magic packs a serious punch, it's no joke. And hey, if things get too hairy with the demons, Adam could always bail and zip back to the parallel world, right? What's the big deal, right? I mean, Demon Slayer can't be any crazier than Boruto, can it? Time to dive in and see what all the fuss is about. Ahem, Zenitsu, why are you here again? Adam asked the yellow-haired guy, subtly reminding him to focus on the task at hand. Sure enough, upon hearing this, Zenitsu snapped back to reality and shouted, "Ah! I'm here to slay demons." No, wait, Nezuko is still with Tanjiro. With that, he frantically ran into the mountains, shouting as he went. Nezuko! Where are you? Hey! Stupid Zenitsu! Don't run off like that! His sudden departure put Adam in a difficult position. This place was far too dangerous. Without a breathing technique or a Nichiren sword, Adam would have no choice but to flee when facing demons, making him even more helpless than that crybaby. There was no choice but to follow him. Adam closely pursued Zenitsu. Lucky for Adam, Zenitsu wasn't exactly Usain Bolt. He caught up to the guy in no time. However, he wasn't charging ahead anymore. Nope, he was booking it in reverse like his life depended on it. Ah! Zenitsu hollered his lungs out, his legs pumping like crazy as he zoomed backward. Zenitsu! What's wrong? Adam yelled, chasing after him. Upon seeing him, Zenitsu immediately shouted, "Run, Carter-senpai! There's a giant spider here." No, it's a demon. A demon? Adam peered ahead, his excellent eyesight revealing a large spider-like shadow hanging upside down from a tree, its rear end spinning silk. This creature, could it be the nameless demon that Zenitsu would instantly kill? Zenitsu, aren't you a demon slayer core swordsman? Why are you afraid of demons? Adam tried to encourage him, hoping he would quickly use his thunder-breathing technique to eliminate the spider demon. This would allow him to analyze and copy the sword technique. No, no, no! Zenitsu frantically denied, his voice rising in panic. I can't do it. Not on my own. Despite his verbal protests, Zenitsu's feet had stopped their retreat. He turned to face the massive spider looming before them. Adam inched closer, getting a clear view of the creature's true form in the moonlight. Whoa, talk about nightmare fuel! Adam blurted out, scrunching up his nose, and geez, what's that funky smell? It's like a dumpster fire mixed with old gym socks. He didn't hold back, roasting the demon's looks and stink with zero chill. The spider demon was a nightmarish sight, the kind that could send children screaming in terror. Its form was a crude amalgamation, a giant arachnid body with a human head haphazardly attached, reminiscent of low-budget monster flicks from his previous life. Suddenly, a bizarre question from his past life popped into Adam's mind. If stranded on a deserted island with only a mermaid for company, would you choose one with a fish upper body or a fish lower body? Come to think of it, mermaids and spider people are entirely different concepts. At least mermaids have a waist. This spider brother just had a dry head stuck on a spider's body, ugly to the extreme. Zenitsu, hurry up and finish him off. Adam felt nauseated, both physically and mentally repulsed, and ordered the crybaby to kill it quickly. Zenitsu wiped his tears while sobbing, I can't do it, Carter-senpai. This guy. The current Zenitsu was too weak-hearted, before his transformation, he was utterly useless. He run all you want, in half an hour you'll be crawling on the ground, submitting to me just like those spiders. The spider brother laughed wickedly as he pulled out a pocket watch, pointing at its hands with his spider leg, constantly increasing the pressure on the crybaby. Do you understand? After this long hand makes one full rotation, you'll turn into a spider. Zenitsu trembled in fear, unable to speak. When the hand reaches here, your limbs will go numb and your whole body will ache. When it gets to here, you'll feel dizzy and nauseous, and when it reaches here, you'll be in unbearable pain. Your body will gradually shrink, and you'll lose consciousness. When you wake up, you'll find yourself, ha 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 ha. The spider brother didn't finish his sentence, but his increasingly deranged laughter conveyed the message to him, yes, it's exactly what you're thinking. Zenitsu's mental state shattered. He wailed loudly, grabbing Adam's clothes and pleading, Carter-senpai, please save me. I don't want to turn into that disgusting spider. At this moment, the spider brother noticed another man standing next to his prey. Who's that? He wondered. The newcomer's attire was strange. Though he had a long sword at his waist, he wasn't wearing the Demon Slayer Corps uniform. Could he be a demon hunter? Unable to figure it out, the spider brother decided to set a trap for this newcomer as well. He secretly commanded the spiders under his control, intending to use his usual tactics to inject poison into the new guy. This was both his combat strategy and his means of survival. But before he could act, Adam spoke, sorry, Zenitsu. I'm not a Demon Slayer Corps swordsman, and I don't know any breathing techniques. This sword isn't a Nichiren blade either, so it can't kill demons. What? Carter-senpai really isn't from the Demon Slayer Corps. You're just an ordinary person. Did I bring an ordinary person face to face with a demon? Zenitsu's desperation grew, his mouth spewing incredulous cries one after another. Man, Zenitsu was really living up to his reputation, always freaking out and yelling his head off. Hey? The spider brother, however, laughed. He had anticipated some unexpected development, but it turned out the newcomer was just another after-dinner dessert for him. Don't be afraid. Once the poison spreads through your body and you become spiders, you'll lose your personalities and won't need to think anymore. The spider brother taunted, further eroding Zenitsu's mental defenses. Stop it. I don't want to become like that. You look like someone no one likes, someone who's been pushed away by others, right? Despite Zenitsu's apparent weakness, his sharp tongue clearly made the spider brother uncomfortable. No. Zenitsu wailed in despair, tugging at his hair. Out of nowhere, his jaw dropped. He stared in horror as a big clump of his hair hit the ground. My hair is falling out. Zenitsu let out a blood-curdling shriek and hit the dirt like a sack of potatoes. Knocked out cold. 17 The sleep god's thunderous slash. Zenitsu collapsed, overwhelmed by the intense shock. Ha 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 ha. Spider brother cackled wildly, his mockery unconcealed. Is this weakling really a demon slayer? He's utterly useless. He had a point. Zenitsu's display was indeed pitiful. Had Tanjiro and Inosuke been present, they likely would have punched him for fainting so easily. Spider brother licked his lips, eyeing Adam with malicious intent as if savoring a delectable feast. He could scarcely contain his eagerness to devour him. You're next, He felt no concern about the mortal human posing any threat. Without a Nichiren sword, he couldn't kill him, so there was no reason for alarm. Surely you've noticed something peculiar about that boy? Those remnants of a toxin-ravaged body, the blue marks spread across various parts, they're telltale signs of someone on the brink of transforming into a spider. He deliberately highlighted Zenitsu's abnormalities, attempting to unsettle Adam. But to Spider Brother's dismay, Adam, aware of the outcome, remained unperturbed, meeting his gaze with calm resolve. Displeased by his confident demeanor, Spider Brother threatened, "Why aren't you running? Soon you'll share the fate of that unconscious brat." "Oh, is that so?" Adam waved his hand dismissively. "If I were you, I'd be more concerned about Zenitsu." "What are you talking about? That kid is already unconscious." Spider Brother couldn't finish his sentence as he witnessed the unconscious Zenitsu rising from the ground. Eyes tightly shut, Zenitsu stood in a wide stance, both hands gripping the sword ready to strike. Hot, intense breaths escaped from his mouth. What is this? Spider Brother exclaimed, shock and doubt evident in his voice. Logically, the toxin should have already corroded Zenitsu's nerves, rendering him unable to stand. Why? How can he still stand? Spider Brother cried out in alarm, frantically summoning small spiders to swarm and attack. He also spat poisonous sticky fluid from his mouth, now intent on killing him directly. He had abandoned his plan to turn Zenitsu into a spider demon. Wow, what a treat for those with trypophobia! Adam quipped, quickly dodging to the side and jumping away from the dense swarm of small spiders closing in. Seeing this, Spider Brother laughed and taunted, "You're just running away? Not going to help him anymore." Though he might have had the verbal upper hand, the reality of the situation remained uncertain. "Ah, Zenitsu will be fine, no need to worry," Adam said as he jumped onto a tree, "he doesn't need my concern. You, on the other hand, are the one in trouble." "Hey? I'm in trouble? Don't make me laugh." Spider Brother glanced at the crybaby boy, who was engulfed by the swarm of small spiders, his expression smug with apparent victory. But his confidence was about to be shattered. Suddenly, a blinding golden lightning erupted from within the spider swarm. With a deafening crack, Zenitsu obliterated the attacking arachnids, emerging as a figure cloaked in crackling electricity. The lightning danced around him, a perfect complement to his yellow attire. He stood there, a living embodiment of thunder's might. Zenitsu's stance was impossibly low, feet spread wide, eyes shut tight, both hands gripping his sword with unwavering resolve. This time, however, something was different, electrifyingly so. Thunder breathing, first form thunderclap and flash, sixfold. The words flowed calmly from his mouth. In an instant, he vanished, disappearing from Adam's sight. Fast. Blindingly fast. Unimaginably fast. Adam's keen vision couldn't track Zenitsu's movements. Like a streak of yellow lightning, he zipped through the intricate mountain forest, leaving a trail of heart-stopping golden light. In martial arts, nothing is truly impenetrable, only speed reigns supreme. The thunder-breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash embodies this principle, pushing speed to its absolute limit. All power, concentrated on a single point, reaching the zenith of possibility. Zing! 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 6 consecutive light sounds echoed as golden lightning streaked across the sky shrouded in dark clouds. Soon after, the dazzling golden light dissipated. Opening his eyes again, Adam saw that Spider Brother's head had been cut off, rolling to the side. The demon's mouth still moved, shouting, "I'm impossible. How could a mere, lowly demon slayer, actually kill me?" In endless regret and anger, he turned to ashes, dissipating before him. So strong. Adam had to admit that the thunder-breathing technique was far beyond what he could contend with right now. Thunderclap and flash is a sword-drawing technique. In the world of sword-drawing techniques, there's a saying that Adam found quite accurate. The lower the posture, the stronger the slash. Judging by Zenitsu's wide stance nearly parallel to the ground, the attack power was indeed as formidable as rumored. He truly lived up to his sleep god nickname. A single lightning slash was no joke. Let me reiterate, Zenitsu Agatsuma is far from weak. His poor mental resilience and lack of self-confidence merely make him appear cowardly. Once asleep, however, his attacking ability is worlds apart from his waking state. The thunder-breathing technique is terrifyingly powerful. And now, all of this belonged to Adam. Analysis start. Analysis complete. Copying start. Copying complete. Thunder-breathing technique acquired. Thunder-breathing technique, total concentration acquired. Thunder-breathing, first form, thunderclap and flash acquired. So, this is your sword technique, Zenitsu. Adam clenched his fists, feeling a surge of newfound strength. I'll gratefully accept it. The skill thief had struck again. Wait, I should hurry and treat him. Pushing aside his excitement over acquiring a new skill, Adam nimbly climbed up to the small wooden house suspended by spider threads. He began examining Zenitsu's condition. This isn't good, the poison has penetrated too deeply. He furrowed his brow. Never mind, let's try anyway. Adam retrieved a small bottle from his pocket and carefully poured its contents into Zenitsu's mouth. A water blue glow enveloped his entire body. After a moment, the light faded, and all the toxins in his system were purified. This was holy water, specially crafted by Aqua before his departure. As the goddess of water, producing it was effortless for her, requiring only a tiny bit of divine power to create a bottle. Adam carried 3 such bottles as backup, crucial rescue supplies for unexpected situations. While holy water could dispel all negative states, it lacked healing properties and couldn't repair Zenitsu's body, which had been ravaged by the spider venom. Without immediate treatment, his life remained in danger. Could magic work on him? Adam pondered briefly before deciding to attempt it. After all, if holy water had proven effective, there was no reason magic wouldn't. Heal. Adam had acquired this skill from the high priest, the elderly man at the church. A single casting had been enough for Adam to learn heal. At a mere cost of Xi 500, it was both economical and potent. A verdant glow enveloped Zenitsu's body once more. It's working! Adam exclaimed, pleasantly surprised by magic's efficacy. His efforts to save him hadn't been in vain. He considered it fair compensation, given that he'd appropriated Zenitsu's thunder-breathing technique. Just as Adam prepared to carry him down, the soft whisper of a long sword leaving its scabbard reached his ears from behind. Swoosh! A sneak attack! How dishonorable! Adam's eyes narrowed as he executed a backflip, deftly bringing Zenitsu to the ground with him. Whirling to face his would-be assailant, he demanded. Who are you? 18 Butterfly Shinobu. The assailant struck at Adam with lightning speed, aiming straight for his throat. If not for his thief skill, danger sensing, he might have lost his head in an instant. Who's there? Show yourself! Adam bellowed, his face a mix of fury and alarm. Rather than hiding, the attacker boldly leapt from the wooden house, landing gracefully before him. Demon sir, would you kindly hand over the person you're holding? She asked. The figure was female, her beautiful face illuminated by moonlight. Standing about 1.5 meters tall, more than a head shorter than Adam, 1,85 m, she'd likely only reach his forearm if they stood side by side. Her large, purple eyes lacked warmth, yet her lips curved in a perpetual smile, conveying an unsettling sort of gentleness. Her black hair, tied back with a mint-colored butterfly hairpin, fell to her collarbone with purple-tipped ends. She wore the Demon Slayer Corps' black uniform, draped with a haori adorned with butterfly wing patterns. Demon? Me? Adam pointed at himself, his expression incredulous. He then asked, who are you? Though he posed the question, he had already guessed her identity. Butterfly Shinobu. Coach Shinobu. The sword-wielding girl introduced herself, standing a short distance away. Her smile, a mask of false gentleness, barely concealed her seething fury. I am a Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps, the insect Hashira, Coach Shinobu. Is that explanation sufficient, Demon Sir? It really was her. Well then, Demon Sir, please die. She raised her peculiar long sword and lunged at Adam, intent on ending his life. Hey, wait! I won't! Wait! I'm not a demon! I don't believe you! Coach disregarded his protests entirely. Her sword strikes grew increasingly vicious, each attack from a more challenging angle than the last. Carrying Zenitsu made it difficult for Adam to dodge, and he nearly got cut several times. Damn, this chick isn't listening to a word I'm saying. Adam grumbled, his face scrunching up. Picture this, a lady with an unsettling smile swinging her sword at you as if she's chopping vegetables, completely indifferent to the possibility of turning you into sushi. What the heck? I thought only the pink-haired ones were this crazy. Where's the pinker the hair, crazier the swing rule when you need it? So now we've got black and purple-haired psychos too? Man, I was such a fanboy in my past life. Talk about rose-colored glasses. Adam's patience wore thin. Realizing that talking was futile, he decided to engage in combat. With a slight exertion of his legs, accompanied by a faint electric light, he instantly created distance between himself and Coach. After placing Zenitsu under a nearby tree, Adam cracked his neck and shook his legs, loosening up his muscles in preparation to teach her a lesson. Oh my, is the Demon Sir finally getting serious? Coach watched him with a smile, raising her Nichiren blade while secretly guarding against any surprise attacks. Irritated by her rude behavior, Adam grumbled, since I can't explain it to you, I'll just have to teach you a lesson, little girl. Coach was 18 years old, only a year younger than Adam. However, her petite figure and youthful appearance made her look much younger. Little girl. Coach's smile remained, but the veins on her forehead betrayed her anger. Take this, little girl thunderclap and flash within a 50-meter radius. Adam taunted, assuming the first form stance. When it comes to sword techniques, their effectiveness varies greatly depending on the user. Adam, who had acquired the thunderclap and flash technique, was at least 3 to 4 times stronger than Zenitsu currently. This difference stems from a fundamental truth: the stronger one's physical attributes, the more powerful their sword technique. Adam's physical attributes, enhanced by skill points, far surpassed those of ordinary people. From the start, he had invested all his skill points into mana expansion and physical enhancement. His analyze and copy skill was impressive, but without a capable body, one couldn't effectively use such skills and sword techniques. The same principle applies to magic. Without sufficient mana, one can't cast powerful spells. Think of the human body as a computer's hardware. Only with robust hardware can one run high-quality, demanding software. Similarly, only with a well-developed body can one execute powerful techniques and spells. Otherwise, it's like those old computers that take several minutes just to open a web page. How could they possibly run large-scale games? So, the basic hardware is crucial. Ahem, we've digressed. Let's return our focus to Adam and Coach. Adam assumed a wide stance, both hands gripping the sword, ready to strike. His form gradually lowered, almost parallel to the ground. Thunder breathing, first form thunderclap and flash. Whoosh! Adam shot towards Coach like a yellow bolt of lightning. In the next instant, he appeared behind her, his sword striking her head. Tap! A light sound emanated from her head. His right hand, formed into a blade, struck her small head with moderate force. Adam could have easily killed her in that moment. Coach, who relied solely on speed due to her limited physical strength, stood no chance against his superior speed. Coach gasped, stunned for a moment. This is thunder breathing. Correct. Adam grinned, patting her head. Indeed, it's thunder breathing. Could it be that the demon sir also knows thunder breathing? Rather than realizing Adam wasn't a demon, her misunderstanding deepened. She now believed he had stolen the thunder breathing technique. Listen up, I'll say this one more time: I'm not a demon. Adam growled, giving her cheeks a gentle squeeze. See this mouth? It's spreading lies about me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Coach quickly apologized. The demon sir isn't a demon. Oh, come on. Adam groaned, throwing his hands up. What's with the demon sir isn't a demon? I'm telling you, I'm human. Is this her personality? She's infuriating. To clear up the misunderstanding, Adam swiftly introduced himself and recounted recent events. But I saw Carter-kun's hands glowing green earlier. Isn't that blood demon art? Ah, I see. You saw that? Adam nodded. Let me clarify, that green light isn't blood demon art, it's my unique healing method. Adam realized the misunderstanding. Coach, who had been hiding in the shadows earlier, must have seen his hands glowing green and instinctively assumed he was an evil demon using a blood demon art, an ability unique to demons. You're lying. I'm not. After a moment, Coach patted her forehead, looking embarrassed. I'm sorry, Carter-kun. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, you did. Adam felt relieved as she finally understood her error. It hadn't been easy to convince her. To express my apologies, please accept this, Carter-kun. What's this? Adam's appetite was instantly aroused at the sight of the small cake in her hand. He devoured it in just 2 or 3 bites. Delicious. Sweet and soft, fragrant and chewy, it's really good. Adam licked the residue off his fingers. Do you have any more? I'm actually a bit hungry. His sparring session with Coach had indeed worked up an appetite. Yes, there are many more. She produced a small package from her bosom, filled with similar cakes. Adam's eyes gleamed as he grabbed the cakes and began to devour them ravenously. Delicious. These are incredible. What kind of cakes are these? Adam asked, savoring every bite. They're wisteria cakes. Coach replied. Adam froze, the flavor suddenly turning to ash in his mouth. With a saccharine smile, Coach repeated, enunciating each syllable, they're wisteria cakes. I kept telling you. I'm not a demon. Adam exploded, his composure shattering completely. 19 My Shinobu can't be this bubbly. Shinobu's background was marked by tragedy. Born into a family of pharmacists, her life took a dark turn when demons invaded their home, killing her parents. As Shinobu and her sister, Kane Koko, faced imminent danger, the stone pillar arrived just in time to rescue them. Following intense training, both sisters passed the final selection and joined the Demon Slayer Corps, dedicating themselves to hunting evil demons. Within 4 years, Kane ascended to the rank of pillar, with Shinobu following in her footsteps as her successor. Tragedy struck again during a demon hunting mission when Kane encountered Doma, the formidable Upper Moon II. Despite a fierce battle, Kane succumbed to her injuries moments before dawn. Shinobu, arriving at the scene after daybreak, was consumed by guilt and remorse for being unable to save her sister. From that day forward, Shinobu maintained a facade of smiles, striving to emulate her sister. Yet beneath this mask, her heart seethed with an unquenchable anger and hatred towards demons. This trauma morphed into a singular obsession. She sought to eradicate all demons, regardless of their nature. This stood in stark contrast to her sister's wish for peaceful coexistence between humans and demons. Hello. I hope Carter-kun isn't angry anymore. I sincerely apologize. I was wrong. Shinobu said, following beside Adam with a contrite expression. Humph. Adam didn't accept her apology, continuing to rush towards the interior of Mount Nadagumo. The two shared the same destination, the central battlefield of Mount Nadagumo. Zenitsu, having recovered well after emergency treatment, was now under the care of the Demon Slayer Corps' Kakushi. It was just the two of them now. Adam was clearly giving Shinobu the cold shoulder. Her out-of-the-blue attack and sneaky wisteria cake trick had really ticked him off. Wisteria, harmless to humans, acts as a deadly poison to demons. Ingestion proves fatal, making it an effective method for demon slaying. This was Shinobu's chosen technique. Lacking the physical strength to behead demons, she relied on poison instead. I was wrong. Shinobu repeated, apologizing sincerely. Then, in a roundabout way, she added, but you know, Carter-kun was also at fault. I was at fault. Adam laughed bitterly, you swung your sword at me, and somehow I'm to blame. Well, who could have imagined Carter-kun's hands would emit green light? For a normal person, such an abnormality wouldn't exist, right? Well, you're right. Normal people's hands don't emit green light. He nodded. That's what I'm saying. But that's still not a reason for you to attack me indiscriminately. That's why I've apologized to you. I'm sorry. Shinobu said sincerely, Carter-kun is magnanimous. Please forgive me. Seeing her so humble and asking for forgiveness, Adam couldn't keep pressuring her, given how sincere you are, I'll forgive you. He would still need to deal with the Demon Slayer Corps later, and offending a pillar-level member wouldn't be a wise move. Not to mention, she had good relationships with other pillars. He had to be careful she didn't secretly cause trouble for him or give him a hard time. Really? Thank you, Carter-kun, for forgiving me. Shinobu smiled happily. Whoa, hold up. Who are you and what have you done with Shinobu? I thought you were all about being this sweet, gentle flower like your sis. What's with the sudden energy? Seriously, my Shinobu can't be this bubbly. Should be the title of this scene. Shinobu asked while running, by the way, what's that green light emitting from Carter-kun's hands? She had just checked on Zenitsu's condition earlier. She found that his condition was surprisingly good. Apart from falling unconscious due to excessive mental exhaustion, he had no other problems, and his body was completely unharmed. This was too amazing. If she hadn't witnessed Zenitsu's thunderclap and flash posture, she might have assumed Adam had defeated the demon brother. As I mentioned before, it's my unique healing method. It can perform basic treatment, but it only heals the body, not the mind. Shinobu's eyes flickered slightly, her mind seemingly racing with thoughts. Ah, so that's why she's suddenly all nice and apologetic. She's probably after my healing magic, Adam thought, seeing through her act. Realizing this, he quickly dispelled her hopes. Don't get any ideas, it's my unique ability that can't be taught to others. Heal was a skill, and unless Shinobu also possessed an adventurer card, Adam couldn't pass it on to her anyway. I see. She accepted this fact without protest. In truth, she had encountered special abilities before. The love pillar, Mitsurai Kenroji, had a body density 8 times that of normal people, granting her exceptional defense and strength and a hearty appetite to match. Then there was Jinya Shinazugawa, who could consume demons and temporarily take on their traits. These were all unique characteristics, impossible to imitate. The conversation didn't end there. Shinobu had more questions for Adam. Carter-kun, you're not a member of the Demon Slayer Corps, are you? Your clothes are quite unusual, and how do you know the thunder breathing technique? What if I told you I learned it just by watching Zenitsu use it once? Adam replied, unafraid to reveal his talent. There was no harm in being open about it. After all, he was on humanity's side. The Demon Slayer Corps wouldn't turn against him. On the contrary, once they confirmed his talent, he'd become their hope and receive intensive training. The Demon Slayer Corps would have hoped to end their 1,000-year-old quest, and Adam would seize the opportunity to learn all the breathing techniques. A win-win situation. He'd be picking up those breathing techniques faster than you can say Nezuko-chan. However, Shinobu clearly didn't believe a word he said, assuming he was just teasing her to express his dissatisfaction with her previous rudeness. Hahaha, Carter-kun really is petty, isn't he? Hey! Adam blinked, confused. Where had he gone wrong? This was wrong. Come on, shouldn't you be all starry-eyed like, no way. You're a prodigy. I must introduce you to the master. But here you are, giving me the side eye instead. What gives? Perhaps Carter-kun means to say that, no matter what sword technique it is, after seeing it demonstrated once, you can easily learn it. Shinobu said with a smile, her words tinged with mockery, clearly indicating her disbelief. Adam caught on this woman must think he was boasting. But that was fine. Actions speak louder than words, she'd soon see whether he was bluffing or not. Just wait and see. I'm going to blow your mind. Get ready for your jaw to hit the floor. You think having a cheat code is all fun and games? Well, let me tell you, it's even better than that. It's like having a superpower, only way cooler. Adam smiled confidently, ah, indeed. Without exaggeration, no matter what sword technique it is, as long as it's demonstrated in front of me once, I can easily analyze and copy it. Hehe. Shinobu didn't argue further, but she also stopped talking. The conversation ended with that hehe. Adam's claim wasn't born of arrogance or getting carried away. It was because he truly possessed this capability. At level 6, Adam possessed 60 skill points. He had invested most of these in body enhancement, a skill he'd copied from darkness. Though his physical strength couldn't rival hers, Adam was certain he surpassed even the stone pillar in power. For him, mastering various breathing techniques and sword skills was child's play. His current goal was simple: race to Mount Nadagumo's center, observe the swordsmen there, and swiftly analyze and copy their techniques. However, as they hurried toward the mountain's heart, an unexpected obstacle appeared. It was none other than the sister from the spider demon family. Chapter 20: The Central Battlefield and Departure. The sister from the spider family stood before Adam and Shinobu, attempting to block their path. One had to admire her bravery, daring to confront a pillar. But her courage was short-lived. Shinobu, after briefly toying with her opponent, struck with lightning speed, injecting wisteria flower poison into the spider sister's body. It was a swift and merciful end. Adam applauded, saying, "Impressive. That level of skill is truly admirable. Well, I am a pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, after all. I'm quite capable." Shinobu replied with a smile, accepting his praise. She hadn't relied on any breathing techniques, her own agility and speed had been enough to overwhelm the demon. Despite her outward composure, Shinobu remained wary of Adam. Though she didn't fully trust his words, she maintained a cautious demeanor around him. Turning her attention to the aftermath, she broke open a nearby cocoon. A naked man emerged, crawling out from inside. It was Murata, the luckiest minor character in Demon Slayer. This man's fortune seemed unparalleled. A fellow trainee of Jiu Tomioka, Murata had survived several near-total annihilations through sheer luck, continuing to live life to the fullest. His uncanny ability to persist had even earned him the playful nickname Roadside Pillar among manga fans. "Hello there, are you all right?" Shinobu asked, helping him out while checking for injuries. Murata rubbed his head, dazed. I'm fine. I'm okay." Suddenly realizing his state of undress, he exclaimed, "Whoa, why am I naked?" After saying that, he covered himself and ran away in embarrassment. Adam stood silently until Murata disappeared, then asked, "Shall we continue?" He was anxious to meet the characters from the original story, hoping to secretly learn their sword techniques. Eager to proceed, he was caught off guard when Shinobu looked up at the sky and mused, "Oh my, did Mr. Tomioka defeat the demon this time? Through some special means, she had sensed that Tomioka had already slain one of the 12 Kizuki demons. What? Adam exclaimed in disbelief. Had he arrived too late? Refusing to accept this, he dashed into the mountains with Shinobu close behind. Soon, they reached the central battlefield. The scene was gruesome, flesh and blood scattered everywhere. The surrounding forest bore severe damage, with thread-like cutting marks scarring the tree trunks. Many people lay injured. Adam quickly surveyed the area, spotting Tanjiro Kamado in his green checkered clothes and forehead scar, Nezuko Kamado with her red eyes and black hair biting on a bamboo tube, and Jiyu Tomioka with his expressionless face and lifeless eyes. No demons were visible, likely because they'd been beheaded and turned to ash. Adam glanced around, unimpressed. He was disappointed, though. There'd be no chance to observe those sword techniques he'd hoped to learn. Shinobu, however, perked up with interest. Oh? That girl, is she, a demon? The sharp-eyed woman spotted Nezuko, who had become a demon. With a smile, she rushed forward, drawing her sword to strike without hesitation. Sensing the danger, Nezuko quickly retreated into her box to hide. Wait! She's my sister! Tanjiro cried, tightly hugging the box to shield it from Shinobu's strike. Unwilling to harm humans, Shinobu swiftly withdrew her sword, avoiding injury to the boy. She attempted to persuade him gently, is she your sister? How pitiful! She has already become a demon. Let me end her suffering. Resolute in her duty, Shinobu remained determined to eliminate Nezuko. Tanjiro, no fool, realized he must flee with his sister or face her certain death. Despite his exhaustion, his body surged with incredible strength. He darted away, instantly putting distance between himself and the others. I won't let you harm my sister! He shouted. Displeased by his sudden escape, Shinobu decided to pursue and capture both Kamado's siblings. Wait! Adam grabbed her as she was about to take off. Oh my, Carter-kun! Shinobu said with a deceptively sweet smile, you're not a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Interfering with the Corps can be fatal, you know. Shinobu's words had a hidden edge, but Adam just shrugged it off like water off a duck's back. But I'm a civilian, aren't I? The Demon Slayer Corps' first rule is to protect civilians, right? Adam held her firmly in his arms, preventing her from moving. That's only when it doesn't interfere with the Corps' duties. Shinobu's veins bulged as a small knife shot out from beneath her foot, hurtling towards Adam's face with deadly precision. You're serious? Adam barely dodged the blade. Hey, that's going too far. If you understand the danger, then release me. Shinobu insisted, I'm carrying out a mission for the Demon Slayer Corps. So, please let me go. I won't. Let go. I won't. Carter-kun, please don't forget that I'm not the only Demon Slayer Corps member here. Shinobu signaled Jiyu to chase after the Kamato's siblings and end them swiftly. But she had clearly miscalculated. Jiyu remained motionless. It was obvious he wasn't on her side, but rather on the side of the Kamato's siblings. Although Shinobu was angry, she maintained her smile and said, it's all right, there's still someone else. As she finished speaking, a figure darted past them in pursuit. It was Kaneo Tsuyuri. Shinobu's adopted sister, Kaneo possessed outstanding talent and formidable strength not inferior to a pillar, and far stronger than Tanjiro. Tomioka. Before Adam could give any instructions, Jiyu had already chased after them to stop Kaneo. What a pity, Shinobu. Your plan has failed. Adam laughed a little. Shinobu's nose wrinkled with anger. Hahaha, what should we do? Her chest ached terribly. What to do? This batch of teammates couldn't be relied upon. Just as they reached an impasse, a Kasugai crow from the Demon Slayer Corps flew in from afar, loudly calling out, capture Tanjiro Kamado, capture Nezuko Kamado. Capture Tanjiro Kamado, capture Nezuko Kamado. Afterward, it broadcast the images of the Kamado's siblings, ensuring that all Demon Slayer Corps members would recognize their appearance to facilitate capture. I say, Carter-kun, isn't it time you let me go? Shinobu was nestled in Adam's arms. Though they appeared intimate, they had been secretly struggling against each other. She wanted to break free but couldn't due to her lack of strength. Fortunately, the master's message had arrived. Even Mr. Tomioka must obey the master's orders. If you continue to obstruct me, you'll truly be at odds with the Demon Slayer Corps. Adam patted her head, you're right. I'll let you go now, but don't attack me, or I'll have to get rough with you. With that, he released her. Adam's goal had been to do Tanjiro a favor, hoping it would help him learn the sun-breathing technique more easily in the future. Now that he'd achieved this, there was no need to coerce Shinobu any longer. Shinobu straightened her disheveled clothes. Though she was smiling, her words expressed displeasure. I suspect Carter-kun was taking advantage of me. Carter-kun is a pervert. Hey, that's a misunderstanding. Adam hurriedly explained, although Shinobu is my type, I'm not some ruffian who likes to get handsy. Hehe, is that so? She chuckled. In that case, let's quickly catch up to them and see Mr. Tomioka and Kaneo. You're right. He nodded. Shinobu turned and gave chase, moving swiftly. While she wasn't worried that Jiu would disobey the master's orders, she couldn't help but wonder. Given Tanjiro's injuries, they caught up to him soon enough. But as Shinobu stopped, she realized no one was following her. Sure enough, Adam was nowhere to be seen. What a strange person! She murmured softly. At that moment, the sun rose, its first ray of morning light illuminating her face.
Thanks for listening.